Mafia. Buffalo, 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 it's the Mafia. Josh Allen's coming. You ready? Step Diggs is coming. Buffalo, 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 it's the Mafia. Buffalo, 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 it's the Mafia. Buffalo, 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 it's the Mafia. It's the Buffalo Bills, ayy. It's the Buffalo Bills, ayy. Buffalo, 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 it's the Mafia. Josh Allen, Steph Diggs, Shaq Lawson, who's stopping us? Trey Edmonds, Ed Oliver, Jordan Phillips, who blocking us? I don't see nobody stopping us. Number one, no one on top of us. What they gonna do when Matt Milano coming with the blitz off the edge? Don't you throw it in the air, cause Trey White and Micah Hyde will intercept. Von Miller getting double teamed, now the team getting easy sacks. Russo with the double moves, coming straight for the quarterback. Take him down, take him down. McDermott clapping on the sidelines, in the crowd going crazy. Mafia, it's our time. Josh Allen, it's your
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again for some freaking reason. Right when I'm about to go live, disconnected. A lot of y'all like to say it's that Canadian Wi-Fi. Maybe it is. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rico Report, brought to you by the Buffalo Fanatics. I'm your host, Rico, and you are tuned in to the Rico Report. Let's have a good time tonight. I apologize for the delay, folks. Tech issues, man, and you know how I feel, man. Whenever that thing happens, man, I lose my mind. But we back at it again like a crack addict. Let's go. So, folks, lots of things to talk about, man. The season is upon us. We got a lot of things to handle. We got a lot of things to talk about. We're down to 80. It was then 80. 80 is now the number that we are currently sitting at in terms of players on the squad, and we're going to have to continue to revamp and move things around and shuffle and restructure and do a whole lot of those things. So it's coming our way. Mr. Beane had a press conference today and had a whole lot to say. Actually, he had a whole lot to say, and I'll tell you, man, there was a few things that stood out to me, but more specifically, there's one clip that Mr. Beane dropped on us. And what's up, Wolfgang? What's up, Wolfgang? I would howl, but that would kind of be corny. But you know what it is, man. What's up, Andrew? That Tadros. What's happening? So Mr. Beane had a press conference today, man, and he shared. This is one thing I do like about Beane, and this guy is so forward thinking. He's also very honest and straightforward. He tells you like it is. He doesn't fluff things. He doesn't give you the generic answers like his head coach does and McDermott. You know what I'm saying? It's all scripted with what McDermott says. He's careful in what he says. Beane is just real, man. He keeps it real with you. And I assume that he does. I mean, I can very strongly assume he does the same thing with his players. You know what it is when you come to the Bills. You know how he functions. He'll tell you like it is. And if you didn't do your part, it's because it was already spoken about. You have a job to do. And if you're able to do it, you're going to make the squad. If you're not able to, then here it is. You're walking papers. So not sure what else to kind of bring to the table other than that. And this clip here, though, really stood out to me. I'm going to play it right now.
When you draft a player, we want to draft, develop, re-sign them. So from that standpoint, that's disappointing for me. And you know, I got to go back and look at our process. You know, where that didn't work out, and you know, I know certain things, and so putting it all together, it just ultimately, you know, in my heart of hearts, I wanted Cody to, you know, come in here and have his best year into his fourth year and make a decision to whether we were going to re-sign him or not. But I think it just circumstances, you know, Cody really wants to start and felt that's what he deserved. And for us, versatility is very important. You know, and as we pare this down, it just ultimately made the most sense for the Bills and for Cody a team made an aggressive enough move that I thought it made sense to at this point, add a pick that, hopefully we do a good job with next April.
All right, what's going on, guys? Rico's tech issues are back again. I'm producing the show. It's Evan Harrington. You guys have obviously seen me around these parts a little bit, joining from Rev, Zbot on Smoke Break Mondays and, other shows throughout the week. I'll be in here for a little bit, just kind of breaking down the Cody Ford trade, before Rico gets back, from his little technical difficulties. But nonetheless, Brandon Beane basically stated in that video that Cody Ford wanted to start. He wanted to start, but it wasn't going to be in a Buffalo Bills uniform. Rightfully so. I mean, there's a lot of players on this team that have meaningful value in the starting lineup, and Cody Ford just simply isn't one of those players. And, when Brandon Beane's looking back, on this draft pick, 38th overall, 2019, he would like to see that draft pick become something, even if it's not in a Buffalo Bills uniform. And in Brandon Beane's eyes, trading Cody Ford to the Arizona Cardinals for a 5th round pick is the best value Brandon Beane can get for a guy that he drafted in the 2nd round a few years back. Because when you look at this depth chart, as of right now, Cody Ford is just not a player that would even make the 53-man roster or even start. You got guys like Ryan Bates who have stepped up. You bring in a guy like Roger Saffold. You still have Ike Butker, who just today got placed on the PUP list and, is going to be out for the first games. And, when you look at Cody Ford overall, it does suck because we really thought that he could be a player that potentially could have been one of the franchise cornerstones on this offensive line. Because, in 2017, you draft Deion Dawkins. You have your franchise left tackle. The next season, you bring in a guy like Mitch Morse. So you got your center and your left tackle. You potentially have a guy in Cody Ford that can be that right tackle that you were drafting him to be. Didn't. You moved him inside to guard. He was playing a little better, but it just overall was not enough to potentially, be that starter. But I thought it was great that Brandon Beane got a 5th round pick for a guy like Cody Ford, because Cody Ford simply putting it in easy words, was just not a good, tackle / guard over the past few seasons for the Buffalo Bills. Now I will credit this. This is the one thing I'm going to credit though. We see guys like, I'm going to transition a little bit. Overall, I hope Bobby Hart has a phenomenal, stint or rest of his career with Arizona. I think it's good for him to be paired up back with Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown, as they were teammates in Oklahoma. So I think overall, this is a good, new, fitting move for Cody Ford. But now here's where I want to transition. Aaron Kromer. Aaron Kromer is your new offensive line coach. You had a guy like Bobby Johnson last year, who is now the offensive line coach for the New York Giants. Bobby Johnson was good. Don't get me wrong. Bobby Johnson was a good offensive line coach here in Buffalo. But I feel like bringing in a guy like Aaron Kromer, he's going to maximize the potential for the rest of the offensive line. Whether, that's guys like Cody Ford. I mean, because let's be honest, no one thought Cody Ford can play. Nobody did. Everyone in the chat right now, nobody thought Cody Ford can play. He had a very, very phenomenal game against the Denver Broncos the other day. He played very well. He did his thing. He was very good at getting to the second level and blocking, on all of our running plays. Devin Singletary, Raheem Blackshear, Zach Moss, James Cook, Duke Johnson, all had days running behind Cody Ford. And, when you look at a guy like Aaron Kromer, he's done wonderful things already with Bobby Hart. And you got a guy like Bobby Hart now, who is one. I want to transition into this just for a little bit. I know the other day on the post-game show covering the Broncos Bills game, I made a hot take. I don't know if it was a hot take. Some of you guys might have thought it was a hot take, that I have Bobby Hart making the roster. And I think Bobby Hart is going to make the roster, right? Because now you got to look at the fact Cody Ford's gone. He's out of the equation. He's not on the Buffalo Bills roster anymore. He's out. Ike Butker, one of our interior guards, is going to miss the first 4 games of the season, being on the PUP list. He's not, he's not going to be active against, he's not going to hurt the 53-man roster. It's not going to count against that. So, this opens it up. This opens it up for a guy like Bobby Hart, who can play all 4 positions. And I'm not saying that, That's what guys like Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott have said. Bobby Hart can play all 4 positions. He can play left tackle, left guard, right tackle. Now, is he great at it? Most likely not. Does he have his moments? Sure. He had his moments in the Broncos game. He can do his things here and there, but it's the versatility of a guy like Bobby Hart that will make this roster. And that's where I want to also wrap up and bring this to full circle of just how good Aaron Kromer is. And I think we are not talking about Aaron Kromer enough. I think he should be talked about up to the level with some of the other coaches on this roster. I really think Aaron Kromer is going to revolutionize this offensive line, especially for the running game. I mean, you look at what the running game did the other day. It was phenomenal. It was wonderful what the offensive line did in the running game. Rico's back in the green room, so I'll wrap up my point before he gets back in here.
I apologize, folks. Evan, you held it down, man. I appreciate it. And I'm honestly, I'm sitting here. I'm about to lose my ish tomorrow when I call my internet providers. I'm gonna say, why am I paying all this money for y'all to be messing with your boy? And I appreciate you holding it down, Evan. You're a good man.
I try.
That's my guy, Evan. I appreciate you, man. Where were you so I can kind of feed off of what you're doing and I can kind of get into my group?
So I mean, I started. So I played your clip. Of the Brandon Beane breaking down the Bobby Hart trade.
Yep.
So I kind of stepped into the Bobby Hart discussion, breaking that down a little bit. But like Johnny here, I also got into the Bobby Hart thing.
I bet.
I mean, Rico, here's the thing. You give me a platform, I'm gonna talk my talk. You give me a platform, I'm gonna talk my ish. But I was talking about Bobby Hart a little bit, breaking down the Cody Ford trade. But I mean, you just want to step back into the Cody Ford trade. I didn't really step too far into Bobby Hart.
No. Listen, it's perfect timing because I mean we kind of can get into it. And then I can bring you back in when we get into the old line chat.
Okay.
And we'll do that. We'll go from there.
All right, Rico, I'm hearing some stuttering, man. Don't scare me like that.
I'm about to lose my mind, man. I'm about to lose my mind. Ev, you're going to have to stay on with me because I'm about to rip this thing out the wall.
All right.
If you guys can see me, I'm trying to work this thing.
I mean,
I'm losing my mind right now.
I mean, Rico, we might have to stay with that potato cam going with the static.
Yo, man, I'm losing my ish, but I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it buck. So, Evan, if you can hear me, Bobby Hart, you're gonna get to really expound on this Bobby Hart thing once I get right into the old line talk. I don't want to get into rated R Rico, but goddamn, I might get into. I'm gonna drop bombs everywhere. I don't want to be that guy tonight. I really don't.
I'm cool for it, man.
Yo, I'm trying to keep my cool right now, but I don't want to punch a hole in the wall. But anyway, getting into this chatter though, I do want to talk about like the kind of news around the league before we get into the big reveal on the 53 that we think is going to happen. I'm going to need a lot of people's help on doing this because, truth be told, there are some solidified pieces already. We already know this is the group that's going to be going forward, but there are some pieces that are going to, you're going to sit in here going, I'm not sure. There's some depth pieces that we're thinking, are we going to keep this depth piece? Or are we not? It's going to go back and forth, right? So let me get to around the league because I really want to get into this and I'm going to get into the bag. Baker Mayfield got the starting job. I did not know Baker Mayfield was going to get the starting job. I thought it was going to be more of a battle between him and freaking Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold just let Baker walk into his house and take his job. Like, Sam Darnold, have some more fight. Have some more fight. My goodness, you let the guy in the same draft class as you come in and take your job. Are you kidding me? You didn't make it a fight. You didn't make it until the last preseason game for them to decide and keep people on pins and needles. Nah, fam, you let the man take his job, and it drives me insane that you can just let that. I can't get it. Sam Darnold went from a poor ass Jets organization. You know what I'm saying? I get it. They didn't coach you up the way you should have been coached up. Cool. Then you go to the Panthers. All right, you look good at the beginning. You look good, and then you poo-pooed the bet. And now Baker, with all his mess, comes over and says, yeah, I'm going to take that. And you're just going to lay there and take it. Golly. So what happens to Baker Mayfield? I mean, not Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold going forward, first and foremost. I think the Carolina thing was scripted. Who knows if it was scripted? They wanted him. They didn't want him. Who knows what was happening? But Sam Darnold. What happens to Sam Darnold now? Like he's got to be so demoralized that Cam Newton came in, stank up the joint. You know what I mean? And Cam Newton is without a job, rightfully so, because it just ended badly for Cam. You know what I'm saying? And it started when he went to New England. He should have never went to New England. That was a terrible place to go. But anyway, it is what it is. Ocho Cinco did the same thing. Terrible place to go. Ocho could have went every other place but that place. But I mean, at the time, it wasn't good look for him. But anyway, but Sam Darnold, dude, I feel bad for Sam Darnold. I do. You know what I'm saying? But dude, what goes on? Is he forever a backup now? Is he ever going to get an opportunity? Is he going to be like a Mariota and get his opportunity somewhere on a team that's not looking good? Who the F knows? But anyway, moving on. I feel bad for Sam Darnold, but I kind of don't at the same time. Tom Brady. My man Tommy Brady and Gronkowski were headed to the Raiders. And of all people, which I don't understand, I don't know if you guys know this answer, please enlighten me. How the hell is Dana White involved in Tom Brady, Gronkowski, all those people get into a spot? I just don't understand it. I won't understand it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But dude, Gronk and Tom Brady and the Raiders. And here's the worst part. Gruden kiboshed it. He said, nah, we're not having that. I'm good with my quarterback and Derek Carr. Not that Derek Carr is terrible. It's not that case. It's not the case at all. But the fact that you would say I'm good, I'll keep Derek Carr over having Gronkowski and Tom Brady. And the worst thing is Tom Brady went and won the whole thing that year too. And Gruden didn't take it? Dude, this is one of those things where like you let your pride get in the way. You let your pride get in the way and say, nah, I can do it without Brady. I don't need Brady. Well, Brady did it without your ass. And you could have had, you know what I'm saying, your team raising Lombardi. It would have been a beautiful thing. It would have been really set up. The back, you're in Nevada now, like Las Vegas, and you let that dude go. Man, Brady doesn't fit with the Raiders. Dude, Brady can go anywhere and he'll fit. Believe that. He can go anywhere. You can put Brady right now. What's the worst team in the league right now? Evan, what would you say the worst team in the league is?
Oh, the worst team in the league, in my opinion, honestly, could probably differ between the Atlanta Falcons and the Chicago Bears. I mean, realistically,
Chicago Bears. I think Chicago Bears was one of the worst teams. You put Brady on the Chicago Bears, they're competing for that freaking the NFC North spot for sure. They're competing. They're a playoff
Brady
team.
And Rodgers. Oh my gosh.
Brady and Rodgers in the same division. Like to say he doesn't fit anywhere, dude, that is the guy that can fit anywhere. It's like saying LeBron doesn't fit anywhere. LeBron plays from point guard to freaking center. He will fit
1 through 5.
That is, you know what I'm saying? He'll go 1 to 5. You ask him to cover freaking Zydrunas Ilgauskas for crying out loud. He can do it. I mean, they were teammates for crying out loud, but you catch what I'm saying. But anyway, the Texans are pretty brutal. I think the Texans are not going to be as bad this year. I think
the Texans can compete though. They competed in a lot of games.
I agree. I think they're going to be very competitive this year, and I don't doubt it. But you put Brady on the Texans, they win the South. There's no question. They win the South. It's over with. I'm just saying, he's that good. But anyway, the Jets are terrible. Yeah, I mean, listen, you get the point. You can put him anywhere and he'll fit. And the Raiders decided to say, nah, we'll keep Derek Carr. Not that Derek Carr is terrible. He's not.
I like Derek Carr. I think he's a great quarterback. I think you know what? Derek Carr is that quarterback where you can't upgrade, but you can't downgrade. You know what I'm saying? I get
exactly what you're saying.
He's at that point where he's just good enough where you're too scared to upgrade because you don't know if you can get that next level guy.
Yeah, it's one of those tough situations for the Raiders fans. You know what I'm saying? But Raiders are pretty happy. They got Devontae, they got Derek Carr, they got the teammates back together again. So we'll see how that plays out out there. But like, how is Dana White involved? What is Dana White doing involved in this business? And he's the one, spilling the tea. He's spilling the tea for the whole world to know. What?
I don't know if it's true or not, but he could be like he might have a small percentage of the ownership with the Raiders. Like maybe. I could be wrong.
Look that up for me. Look that up if that is actually.
I'll look that up.
Yeah, look that up while we.
I'll look that up on my phone real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's intriguing.
It is very intriguing. And you asked Derek Carr about it. Derek Carr is a true professional. He's like, man, yeah, I heard about that, but like, what am I gonna do? I mean, all I want to do is focus on my football and focus on all those things. And it's really nice to just answer questions about football and not asking me about some Tom Brady stuff. Like this guy is a consummate pro, like legit consummate pro. By the way, Evan, I love your hat. Your hat is legit sexy on you, boy. I like it.
It is legit. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, on to next news. The Steelers are unsure of who is going to start at quarterback. They think Kenny Pickett has a chance to start. I thought they made Trubisky the starter until I read something that was like, well, they're going to wait till the last preseason game to really determine who's going to start. Well, that is something. I mean, I didn't expect that. I thought Trubisky was going to walk in there at least take year one, but Tomlin allowing the Rook to take over. I mean, yes, I believe in Tomlin. Tomlin is a heck of a head coach, but Pickett was having a fantastic offseason, though. That's right. Someone said Pickett has to be the starter. Well, Trubisky's got he's not a slouch. He's not a slouch. He's not some scrub. You know what I mean? That you could, like, he can actually still play, right? And he's got the right pieces around him. He's got a lot of good weapons. Claypool, Deontay, was it Pat Freiermuth is out there? You got Najee Harris. Who's the other receiver that's out there?
George Pickens.
George Pickens is, I heard, doing
NFL young boy.
NFL young boy at it again. So George Pickens, by the way, side note, George Pickens might be a hot pick for fantasy. And a whole lot of people, I mean, he's making a little bit of noise, but he could really turn things up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll see how the young NFL boy does his thing. But at the end of the day, you got to give the job to the vet, the guy that's been around, that's seen a lot of things. But if that young rookie's really pushing it, I guess you could hand him the job. I guess you can. But it is what it is. But the Steelers are still in that quarterback issue. They got issue. I wanted George Pickens for the Bills. It would have been a nice little addition if we had George Pickens. I'll tell you that right now. But our receiver room is full already, folks. It's already as full. Rob Elliott says, Mitch is good, man. He should start. I agree. I don't think you should put the young boy in all of a sudden just because, he's the hot shit right now. You know what I'm saying? He's good. They're going to really turn things up in the regular season. And you want, the savvy vet to be the guy that takes over. What was that Pierre just said? Pull that back up. You always play the guy you drafted to be the franchise. Same thing I said about Josh Allen. Give him the keys after hopping off the stage. Well, Pierre's the same thing. The same person that wanted Josh Allen to start first year. He was like, throw him in first year. But there was somebody that stood in Josh Allen's way. Do you know who that is, Evan?
It was AJ McCarron and Mr. Nathan Peterman.
Damn right. Nate Peterman!
No, Rico. I'm gonna be honest. So before I joined BF, I remember watching you about this whole like Nate Peterman thing in 2017. I'm like, what is this guy on?
What is he on? And then boom, Nate Peterman starts. Now everybody it was like everybody versus Rico, because I was saying, like, guys, I think Nate Peterman he's gonna earn the job and he's gonna start. Josh Allen's not ready yet. He's not ready yet. So you got to put Nate Peterman in. And everyone's like, you're an idiot. If he wins the job, I'll even buy who was it? Aaron Quinn was like, if he wins the job, I'll even buy a BF shirt. He won the job. I don't know where Aaron Quinn's BF shirt is at. I think we remember making that joke, and I was like, nah, don't even worry about it, man. But it is what it is. We ended up kind of squashing that. But at that time, it was hot shit. You know what I mean? And it's been an ongoing joke for me. You know, I'm seeing saluting Nate Peterman that's still in the league right now. He's still doing it, man. So anyway, moving on from Nate Peterman, the Steelers still don't have a quarterback. So we're gonna find out if he actually wins the job. Do they give it to the rookie or do they give it to the savvy vet? We'll soon find out. I do have a question for everybody, yo. Smash that like, my man. So my lady Sophia, what's up, Sophia? Thank you, Rico and Evan, for great content. We appreciate you, Sophia. Hear me out. Kayvon Thibodeaux. Are you hearing the news that's going on with Kayvon Thibodeaux?
Yes.
Evan, are you? Perfect.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that. I'm not familiar with Kayvon Thibodeaux. He's the defensive lineman that the Giants drafted quite high in the draft, and he got hit in the knee. And the debate right now is should we outlaw and stick our noses up at guys that go for guys' knees? What more? And I think who said it best? It was Mark Schlarsh. I think his name is Sloth. I forgot. I can't even pronounce his name. But anyway, former NFL player, and he pretty much said, "Listen, this is whack." For those that are hitting up and saying, oh, he shouldn't be able to do that. That's illegal, blah, blah, blah. He said it, he put it best. He's like, you put pads on and you let a 265-pound man come at you, guns are blazing, and you take that hit on head on. That's suicide. You don't want to do that. What do? You take the guys down. Devin McCourty, I think it was Jason McCourty or Devin McCourty. I think it was Devin McCourty. Devin McCourty was like, yo, I'm like 5'10", 5'11", $190. And guys that come at me like that, guess what? We take them down at the thighs. We don't go for their knees to take them out. We go for the thighs because little guys like us have to. Could you imagine Evan? Evan, how much do you weigh?
175. 175.
All right, yeah. you $170, right? You have a guy like Pierre. You give Pierre, you know what? You have a guy like Bobby. Bobby's a big boy. You know what I'm saying? And
how tall is Bobby?
Bobby's what, 6'3", 6'4"? People don't realize Bobby's a big boy, man. You have Bobby barreling down your way, right? And what are you gonna do? You gonna take Bobby head on?
I mean, unless I was like Edge or Goldberg with that spear, no.
There's no way.
Yeah, no, I'd probably go for like the legs, the kneecaps.
You bounce off like pinball. You know what I'm saying? So little guys have to go for the big boys that are coming at you, because these big boys are going to what's the running back for the Tampa? That freaking Leonard Fournette.
Or Eddie Lacy.
Absolutely slaughtered that DB. You know what the problem was? The DB tried to go head up. Guess what? Head was in the turf. You can't go up against big boys like that. It just happened. So Kayvon Thibodeaux now is getting a second opinion with James Andrews, I believe. And they're about to find out if this is a bigger injury or not. They're saying it's an MCL, so that could keep him out for quite some time. But we will see. Evan would take Bobby head on. Yeah, right. You know what? You probably could take Bobby head on. Bobby Hart. What do you think?
I mean, I'm pretty quick. I got good bend moves. Right now,
so you probably just let him plow.
I mean, I'll say this about myself, because if I'm getting thrown in the spotlight, I gotta, throw a little shine on me. I could, I got good bending, pass rushing moves. I'm not the strongest guy, but I got a good jump start. Okay. So if I bend the edge quick and get around the tackle, I think I can get to the quarterback. Now, I mean, money on Evan. I mean, rightfully so. I can, bend the edge and get to the quarterback. I mean, if it's just one hand touch tackle, then I'm set.
Here's a hypothetical question. You're a safety, and okay. I got the ball and I'm coming around the corner. I'm coming around the bend. Are we going head on, or are you going for my thighs?
I'm hitting you in the thighs, knocking you out of bounds.
Bad move. You'd be eating dust. You know how to do that, Josh Allen. You hop all over you. Nuts on your forehead. But anyway,
there you go.
I digress. Evan versus Rico, Oklahoma Joe. Yo, bring that shit off, boy. Let's go. Me and Evan. But anyway,
home opener will do that.
Do that, man. Put a couple pylons, football down. Let's go, man. Yo, we should do that at a home opener. Home opener. Someone bring the pylons. Someone bring a freaking football. And we do Oklahoma and film that shit, and we freaking put it all over social media and be like, "Yo, this is how we do it at Bills Mafia tailgate. We not only drink and eat wings, but we do Oklahoma in this bitch." And we show everybody doing it, man. Get the reporters in there, get everybody in that bitch. That'd be something, man.
That'd be funny.
That would be hilarious. I'll tell you, there'll be a hot drunk people doing Oklahoma. What a hot disaster mess that would be. But I'd be all for it. I'd be sitting there with my freaking camera, just let me keep rolling that shit. I don't know why I'm rolling the camera like this, like I'm back in, in the old days. But you catch the drift. you do catch the drift, man. My man said, "Yo, did somebody say home opener?" Well, we might be heading to home opener. We're trying to figure things out, folks. We're trying to figure things out. But anyway,
this is a good roast.
Hopefully, Rico is faster than the internet. Oh my God, Rob Elliott. You know what? I got to give that to you, my guy. Right now, I'm crossing my fingers and my shit stays, legit, because right now we straight right now. But anyway, moving on to Bills, some Bills talk. Talk of the town, obviously, is lineman Cody Ford has been traded, and for the last year and a half, I'll say the better time of the 2 years, I was like, fam, If you are being moved from right tackle to right guard to left guard to all over the place, you don't have a home. And when you don't have a home and you got drafted in the second round, you are a borderline bust. And that's what I've been on that. And you guys know you guys been watching me for a minute now. Cody was a freaking borderline bust. Now, I'm going to throw him a little bit. I'm going to throw him an olive branch just a tiny bit. Had they kept him at right tackle, maybe he could have developed a little bit more at that right tackle position, right? That's number one. And that's the number one olive branch I'm going to give him. Number two, his freaking O-line coach did not develop him at all. Bobby Johnson did absolutely nothing with Cody Ford, right? And only now, with a new O-line coach, people started saying, well, did you see Cody Ford last game? He was really good. Even Evan was giving him props. He was really good last. Did you guys see him? All that good stuff, right? Had he been able to stay at right tackle with better development, better coaching, maybe, just maybe, Cody Ford would have panned out a little bit better. But they moved him. The minute you move someone from one position to the other, you got them all over the place. It's a wrap. You have no home, and when you have no home, you definitely have no home, because right now he's not in Buffalo anymore. Cody Ford has been traded to the Arizona Cardinals for him to pair up with his old boy, his old little man, Kyler Murray. So they're gonna rekindle their relationship over there in Arizona. I think they have another guy from Oklahoma that's on that team. There's like three
Hollywood Brown.
Thank you very much. Hollywood Brown's all over there. So had Aaron Kromer been with us the last couple years, we may have a different Cody Ford. But you had bum-ass Bobby Johnson developing absolutely no one. Absolutely no one. So Aaron Kromer coming back is an absolute blessing, and I love every bit about it. By the way, shout out to my man Carl Tomlin. Says, question: with Trey White most likely starting on the PUP list, how many games are the opposing QBs going to pick on Elam before he makes a stop? Dude, they're going to pick at him right off the start. Right from the start, they're going to pick on him. I'm telling you right now, because the only way you get respect is to take on the bullying. They're going to try to bully him. They're going to try to throw at his ass, and he's got a tall task ahead of him going up against Allen Robinson or Cooper Kupp. Pick your poison, because both those boys are bad. Those are two bad men. So I'm going to just say this, man. Elam better be freaking ready. He better be ready, because they're going to come for his ass. And they already know. If they're watching film and they're professionals, they already know he's grabby. He's going to be sitting there trying to, he get beat off the quick route off the tree. Dude, he's going to be grabbing, man. So if he's confident enough that he doesn't need to do all that, then he might be in good company. But it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough first game. And the minute they see blood and the blood doesn't stop, they're going to keep going at his ass. And guess what? They're going to roll the safety over. Or they're just going to play heavily. You're going to just stay heavily in zone and just protect him that way, right? But his strength is man-to-man. So who knows? Maybe they play to his strength. Play to his strength and keep him man-to-man. Make him lock down Allen Robinson. Maybe it's a whole different ballgame. I personally think that he's going to do well. I personally think he's going to do well. What he showed me in preseason is that he's competitive shit. So he will get beat. There's no question about it. He will get beat. It's what he does after he gets beat. Are you going to sulk with your head between your tail and your head between your legs? Or you man up, put your chest down, get back out there, and boss your position up. That is where we're going to find out what's really good with Mr. Kaiir Elam. And I feel that he's going to step up to the plate. I really think he's going to step up to the plate. Johnny Blaze says the score is going to be 53-45. That's too high scoring for me. Especially 53 is fine with me. 45.
I'm cool with that. Hey, if Kaiir Elam's getting beat a lot and it is 45 for the Rams, heck, man, Josh and company might need to put up 53. But yeah, just my thing with the whole Kaiir Elam thing. He is going to get tested early. You can't stop your rookie corner from getting tested early. You're throwing him in that spot to be a starting corner in the NFL. You're going to have to let him get beat. He's going to have to learn from that. He is going to get beat. Like, I don't think he's going to go out there and be like a Tre'Davious right away. That's just not how it is. Cornerback is one of the hardest positions to develop to in the NFL, from college to the pros. So again, Elam, a very physical man corner, but he's going up against guys like Allen Robinson and Van Jefferson. He probably will go against Van Jefferson most of his reps, so
If
he
Van
won't be
Jefferson
going up
plays.
against. Yeah, I mean, if he plays, if he does play, he probably will be going up against Van Jefferson. And if he does, Van Jefferson isn't the most prestigious route runner in the league, but if he goes up against Allen Robinson, he's going up against, one of the top route runners in the game. So that's what it is. I mean, you're just going to kind of have to let it be as it is.
Hey, well, listen, man. Pierre says, yo, Trey White got beat many times as a rookie as well. And it's going to happen. It definitely will happen. I can guarantee that right now. They're going to go at him. And it's how he responds. I mean, everybody knows that. It's how you respond, right? You get punched in your mouth. You don't turn around and hold your jaw and walk away. Nah, you kind of spit the blood out. All right, stretch out and let's go. We gonna square up. That's how it should be. Elam gets a pick number in game 1. I really hope it does. I really hope it does. Truth to Hearts. What's up, Truth? I haven't seen Truth in a minute. What up, Truth? He goes, yo, what's more likely, man? Are running backs combined for over 2,000 yards rushing or Josh Thornton for 5,500 yards? Josh Thornton for 5,500 yards. I can see it, 5,500 yards, but I mean, I'm looking at the run game. Combined for 2,000 yards, man. We had just shy of 2,000 yards last year as a run team altogether. I think we had like 1950.
I think so. I think you're
around that. We had 1950. So you know what? Let me go with the 2,000 yards rushing because last year we did not have a good run game. We didn't have a good run game.
No, it simply wasn't. It was most of Josh.
Season, right? Josh sparked us to get back on track, right? But I can totally see us going for 2,000 yards total with their running backs altogether. So truth to hearts, I like that, man. I'll take the odds of the running backs going for 2,000 yards. 5,500 yards is a lot, bro.
Yeah.
5,500 yards is a lot. Yo, Tom Brady had 5,300 yards last year. 55, bro.
And that was an added game too. Like I don't
absolutely 1,000.
I don't think there's any quarterback in the game right now that can just easily get to 5,500. You would have to have the most historic quarterback season in NFL history, in my opinion. Like I think you would just have to have a season unlike none other to get to 5,500 yards passing.
Or your team is freaking terrible and you're playing from behind all day, every day. Doesn't mean that you had a fantastic season. You're just playing catch up and they're just letting you freaking just roll. Like Jameis Winston. Didn't Jameis Winston have like 2 consecutive years of throwing for 5,000 yards? Something stupid.
Yeah. He threw, I think it might have been 4,900 the one year and then like 5,100 the next. And then, but like
something of that nature. So, dude.
The one season was 30 for 30. I mean, my nickname for Jameis Winston is Mr. ESPN 30 for 30.
Mr. ESPN himself. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you lit up the league. It's just that your team was garbage and you had no choice but to play from behind. And that's a fantasy player's dream to have a quarterback that's always playing from behind and having to freaking work things around. So to throw for 5,500 yards, you've got to have 323 yards a game. To throw for 300 is already a task in itself. To do that for 17 games, that's
just think about it. Before the 2020 season, it took Josh Allen until that 2020 season to have his first 300-yard passing performance.
It took a while.
Josh Allen played 28, almost 30 games basically in his NFL career, and he didn't have a 300-yard passing performance. His first 300-yard passing performance was against the New York Jets in year 3. So it's not.
And he just
now Allen
just made it to 300. I remember that game.
Yeah,
and we praised, yes, he made it over 300. And then the year after that, boy was dropping 300-yard games, 400-yard games. I think it was the season. It was the COVID season where there were
that's what it was.
Yeah, he was just lighting shit up.
That was a bad one.
Lighting shit up. But anyway, you guys catch the drift, right? He then threw for 400 the following week. Yeah, he did. Then he felt it. He's like, okay, this is what it takes to put these yards up. Josh is different now, though. Erase everything that happened the first 2 years. Absolutely right. That third year was a magical year, and he's never looking back. He is never looking back. I'll tell you that right now. Domo, what up, Domo? He says, yo, the way Big Baller Beane was talking about, it sounded like Bobby Hart had a real chance at making it 53. Okay, I need to talk on this. Thank you for bringing this up. Evan, I need you to listen. I want you to open up your freaking ears and listen to me here. All right, folks? So we do this every year, and I was saying this in the chat. We do this every year, me included. I'm not excluding myself from this. Me included, where we fight for all these guys to make the 53-man roster, the bubble guys, right? And we'll use Bobby Hart as an example. Cody Ford gets shipped out. Bobby Hart is on the squad right now. And we all like, Bobby Hart played well. Bobby Hart did this. Bobby Hart did that. Brandon Beane is like, yo, it's hard to find guys that started 64, 65 games in this league. I don't care where you've gone, what you've done. If you start 64, 65 games, that means something. I get that part, right? Beane is always looking around for something. So let's just say I'm using Bobby Hart as an example because this was brought up. Bobby Hart makes a team. How long do you think that lasts? Because there are 31 other teams that will be cutting their players and cutting linemen, and there are going to be guys that will be released that will be better than Bobby Hart, and that they will bring him on. Right? When did we bring on Forrest Lamp? Was it late in?
I think that was a off-season signing.
Was it an off? Was it late off season? I can't remember if it was late in the off season.
I think it was last off season.
So Bobby says, "Yo, Bills fans always stick up for bum players." Well, it's just what it is because we have them all off season. That's all we know. That's all we talk about. So when we hear guys like, and then there's no shade, Quentin Morris, Tommy Sweeney, Tanner Gentry, like we have these guys that are like, the underdogs that could, potentially make the squad, and you want to fight for them. And then when cuts get made and other guys get cut, like, I don't know, let's just say we only had Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. And let's just say this was last year, right? If Kenyon Drake were going to cut, everybody would be all over Kenyon Drake. Yo, we should look into Kenyon Drake. But we were just praising Zach Moss. But Kenyon Drake. So you don't think a lineman's going to get cut, and we're going to be like, we're praising Bobby Hart right now, and maybe he sticks on the team. But then a lineman gets cut. We're going to be like, yo, bring that lineman over here. I remember he was this, that, the third. Let's bring him over here. Bye-bye, Bobby Hart. It's just what we do. It's just what we do. You know what I'm saying? We praise our guys, and then when another guy gets cut, yo, bring that guy. OBJ. Bring OBJ. You feel me? What are you going to say something? Go ahead.
You know what? This year is the year we don't do that. And here's why. With all the injuries that the offensive line has sustained throughout the season,
yep,
one player that has been steadily there the entire training camp and all preseason is Mr. Bobby Hart. He has been there through the thick and thin. He's, gotten very comfortable with Aaron Cromer. He knows the playbook in and out, I hope by now. He's comfortable in this system. He knows Josh Allen. He knows Case Keenum. He knows Matt Barkley. He knows how to play, 4 positions on the line. That's what Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane said. I'm not saying that. They are. So, he knows how to play all 4 positions on the line. And he's just comfortable here. Why bring in a veteran? Why bring in a guy who might be better? Who might have a better career, but does he fit? We don't know. Bobby Hart is just a nice, comfortable depth piece. I don't think he gets moved. If he makes the roster, at worst, I think he gets bumped down to the practice squad for a guy like Ike Butker after week 4 on the pup list. And that's what it is.
It's possible. And anything is possible. Anything is possible. It's just, it's funny that people were poo-pooing on Bobby Hart last year, and Bobby Hart has stepped up his game. But it's not a bad thing, because when you have a coach that can coach, you have a coach that can kind of give you better situations and put you in better position to win, and they've moved him around. That's huge. That's massive. So good. We might as well start talking about Bobby Hart for freaking 22. I'm telling you, man,
honestly,
Bobby Hart, like, he's gonna do something, man. God damn.
The last 4 days of shows have just constantly been talking about Bobby Hart.
I'm sick and tired.
It's a revolving door that just keeps on spinning. It's a revolving door that just keeps on spinning. And I love it.
Yeah. And you know what? Pierre makes a good point, man. You know, a team is deep when we're debating a 54th freaking player. Thank you very much, man. I'm sick and tired of it, man. Talking about Bobby Hart. And shout out to Bobby Hart. If he makes the squad, he makes the squad, man. I'm done talking about it. Damn it,
yeah.
Bobby.
Rico, anyway, you got to get Bobby Hart on the program.
Oh, boy,
you got to get him on the show.
You tripping now. All right, folks.
You want Bobby on the show?
We need to talk about the 53-man roster. First of all, thank you guys for tuning in. I had a horrible time with this freaking janky ass internet that I'm dealing with, that I'm going to rip a new one in them tomorrow in the freaking AM, because right when I'm about to start the show, my Wi-Fi went out. Boom. Right before I pressed live, I was like, ooh, good thing I didn't press live. But people are waiting. And poor Evan is like, hey, guys, that clip just played. I'm going to, you feel me? Evan came through, held it down. Could you imagine if I didn't have a producer? You guys would have been like, yo, what's going on? But the fact that you guys stuck around, it is much appreciated. I'm gonna give it to him tomorrow, man. I'll tell you that right now. And no pause. No pause. I ain't pausing shit.
Rated R Reekers coming out.
God damn. Anyway, so we need to talk about this 53-man roster. And I started with the offensive side of the ball. And I'm looking through the offensive side of the ball. And it's pretty, I think it's pretty set. Evan, do you feel that it's set? I know you have your offensive side of the ball. I have mine, and we can share what our predictions will be. But 53-man it's going to be, I think it's pretty simple this year. I think they already knew who they wanted on their squad. We need to see who is going to step their game up. And we definitely have some guys that are showing out in camp. But will it be enough? Well, we already know the quarterback room is set in stone, right? It is in pen. It is not in pencil. We already know what it is. It's over with. We get that part, right? By the way, shout out to my man Carl Tolman. Says, Matt Ariza winning the job is good, but we have yet to see where the ball goes when punting from the 40. If he places it inside the 20, both from midfield or from the end zone, then we are truly blessed. Well, we have this game this Friday coming up that we can truly find out. Josh isn't playing. I think it's going to be a whole lot of depth players playing. So we will find out what he's made of. I mean, a lot of people were kind of annoyed last game when we finally have an opportunity to punt the freaking football and they throw in Matt Hack. For what? Wasted a rep on Matt Hack to save his dignity? Is that what it is? Well, I'm telling you right now, his dignity was shot when you drafted Matt Ariza in the 5th. He already knew. I don't understand players that don't do this, where you're a position that is kind of, I wouldn't say not a popular position. It's not a popular position. He's a punter. He's a special teamer, right? You're the one guy on the team that does the one job. Your job is to punt the freaking football. And they go out, not only bring another punter, but they draft one. Not in the 7th. No. They draft a punter in the 5th. If I'm the punter for the team and they draft a punter in the 5th, 90% of me is saying, all right, fellas, where's my bag? I'm going to pack my shit. And can y'all let me go so I can go to a place that I can actually have an opportunity early in camp instead of battling with Matt Ariza, the punt god. And I'm going to stop calling him that. That's the last time I call him the punt god. But anyway, they bring in this guy and you sit there wanting to compete. That's the other 10%. The 10% is like, well, he's going to have to come out and out-punt me. He did. He was doing it way back in college. So why are you wasting everybody's time with the punt battle, the puntapalooza? Knock it off. Knock it all the way off. You wasted people's time talking about writing articles about freaking Matt Hack, and then you bring him on. Yeah, now they're calling him that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Alex Lucci. I think Alex Lucci coined him the hold Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thigh doctor.
Yeah, but it's just I was annoyed. I was annoyed. You got this guy coming out and wasting a rep. You got to give it to the guy so we can see if Matt Ariza can punt to inside the 20. How accurately can he go? But we were robbed of that opportunity. But anyway, back to the scheduled program. So we're looking at this offense. Josh Allen, Case Keenum, case closed. Do you agree, sir?
I think Josh Allen and Case Keenum are on the roster. I as of right now, have Matt Barkley coined to the practice squad.
Yes, I mean yes, that's correct. That is correct. So Matt Barkley is going to remain on the squad. They'll send him to the practice squad. Practice squad, I think we're housing 16 players this year.
Yes, so you get 16.
So we're housing 16 players. So we will have Matt Bitcoin Barkley on the practice squad. So we're going to be running with 2 quarterbacks. It'll be Josh and Keenum. Case closed. Running back room. Here's what it is. Now, Blackshear is got a lot of people up in arms, boy. Blackshear. Raheem Blackshear. What's his name? What do we call him again?
Mr. Radio Raheem.
Radio Raheem Blackshear, baby. And Radio Raheem he's got people talking right now. He's got people talking. And to the point where they're questioning whether we keep a certain 3rd round running back. Is he pushing Zach Moss enough? Doubtful.
No.
Is he pushing Taiwan Jones, a special teamer? That's what people are talking about. Do we really need Taiwan Jones We have Matakevich. We have all these special teamers. Well, today I think I was in the group chat with my man Bobby, and he was looking at the special teams percentage on how much special teams Taiwan Jones is on. That dude is on like 80% of the special teams. That's huge. That's massive. And if you need him to spell you at running back, he can. He's a freaking special teams ace. So we already know RB1 for the Bills, and I must clarify, RB1 for the Bills is Devin Singletary. Corey Buffalo says, "Yo, Evan, do you even know who Radio Raheem is?"
So actually, before the show, I'll
don't say anything. Just tell him where Radio Raheem is. Where is Radio Raheem from? What's it from?
A movie in the 80s.
A movie. You know what? That's all.
That's all I need to know.
Well done. There you go, Corey Buffalo. He told you. But anyway, Devin Singletary, RB1. RB2, Zach Moss. I feel strongly about that. I'm not wavering. Zach Moss is RB2, and I think Zach Moss is going to do what I thought he was going to do 2 years ago. I thought because they were force feeding Zach Moss to be the number one guy, to take over Devin Singletary's spot. Trade Devin Singletary. I didn't even know how to take that. Legit? That's not a legit statement. Trade Devin Singletary. But anyway, I'm gonna let that slide, brother. Devin Singletary RB1, Zach Moss RB2, RB3 James Cook. There's your three. All right. Then we got Reggie Gilliam as slash fullback slash tight end. He's there every down. He goes anywhere we need him to go. So what are we doing with Raheem Blackshear, and what are we doing with Duke Johnson? I'll tell you, they're both gone. Right? But the question is, who are they going to keep on the special teams? I think this third game coming up, they're going to go neck and neck of who remains on the squad as the practice squad player. I got to give it to, I don't know, man. You can go with the savvy vet in Duke Johnson, which I really like. I like his game out of the U. Or do you go with Raheem Blackshear that's come out of nowhere? Now, Blackshear, apparently people know him from way back in the day. That boy can play. This is not news to anybody. He can play. It's just a matter of him finding a home. The problem is we're stacked there. So I'm going to leave it at that. I say your three are Cook, Moss, Singletary. There's your three. You got Gilliam and Duke Johnson and Raheem. You guys are out of here. Do you feel any different about that assessment, sir?
Yeah, so I have the Bills keeping like 5 running backs, and that's me including Gilliam and Taiwan Jones. But the 3 running backs that we're going to, be holding in the house is going to be Devin Singletary, James Cook, and Zach Moss. And I basically agree with you going down the line of Singletary being RB1, Zach Moss RB2, and James Cook RB3. And, you got people saying in here, like, do we really need Zach Moss?
Heck yeah.
He's by far the best blocking back.
Well,
he's by far the most valuable in the red zone. I mean, look what he's done in the red zone just throughout preseason. He's just been scoring touchdowns. Solid. You see what he's been doing in practice. In practice. I know it's practice. I know I'm going to throw the Allen Iverson line. Practice. We talk about practice. Yes, I'm talking about practice.
You're damn right.
Zach Moss has been getting RB1 reps as the main red zone back all camp, all training camp long.
Let's not forget, Zach Moss he's got really good hands. He has really good hands, and we are going into an offense that is going to allow these running backs to catch the football a little more often, especially now James Cook is in the building. So I'm not sleeping on Zach Moss at all, man. Like, we have a nice tandem running back, a running back by committee. Now, fantasy-wise, you're done. It's tough, man, because who is going to get the lion's share of carries? Is it going to be the same as last year? Are we gonna truly have one guy that gets most of the share? Are we going to split it all the way down the middle with all 3 backs? That's running back hell for fantasy. If you guys are trying to grab one of these running backs, don't do it. Shout out to my man John DeMarchi. He echoes the same sentiments. Moss is healthy now. Best pass blocking running back by far on the roster, and takes short yardage hits off of Josh Allen. Huge. Moss is a rough bar fight guy. And that's what it is. And that's what we needed him to be the last couple of years. But the problem is he's been nursing injuries. He is officially healthy. He's ready to go. So I think there's going to be a big role for Zach Moss, and he's going to eat into Devin Singletary's role. And it's gonna work out great. James Cook, we'll see how that plays out. Now, devil's advocate here, and I hate to even use that, but anyway, you catch what I'm saying. Is there a possibility that they move Zach Moss? Is there a possibility? And I bring this up for a reason. Because Zach Moss is 24 years of age, same age as Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary is he's got more touches on him. He's got a little more wear and tear. Where do they see the future of this team? It's number one. Number two, you got Devin Singletary going into his last year of his deal. Are they looking to restructure his contract to make him the going forward the back? It's going to be him and Cook. And do they get trade compensation for a guy like Zach Moss? Is there a market for a guy like Zach Moss out there? Or do they just let the chips lay where they play and you just go? Because right now that's a full house in the running back room. That's a full house. It's tough. So I like them staying put and being the way it is. But if we're going to kind of like, all right, well, what if? Because Cody Ford was someone I did not see happening. I know he had the value, but I didn't see them trading him because I didn't think that it was like the value was enough. I know it was over Bobby Hart for sure, but looking at that running back room, could you see a scenario where they move Zach Moss just to kind of, solidify that running back room a little bit more, especially because they got James Cook that they want to get more touches to. It's going to be hard to do that with 3 freaking running backs back there. Evan, what are your thoughts?
So my thoughts overall, I don't think Zach Moss is getting moved. I think the way the NFL is going in, today's game in today's day and age in football, you want as many running backs as you can. Every running backfield is a running back by committee, right? So you have Devin Singletary, who's your RB1. He's your first and second down back. As of right now, James Cook's your third down back. And then you have, guess what? We smash that right button so, Rico can upgrade his internet. But also, we're upgrading our running back room with guys like James Cook and a healthy Zach Moss. And Zach Moss is that third guy. That's going to be your red zone back. You have a very diverse backfield, right? You can't go wrong with all three. All three guys are going to be good. And for whatever reason, an injury happens, the next man's up, So you have that. I don't think you should trade any of the guys this year. The only running back I think that would be traded potentially is a guy like Duke Johnson. I think Duke Johnson actually has a little bit of trade value. I think you can maybe get a 6th or 7th for a guy like Duke Johnson. I don't think you would benefit from trading Zach Moss as of right now, because why? You don't know what's going to happen with Devin Singletary. His contract is up after this season. Let's say you don't re-sign Devin Singletary. All right. You trade Zach Moss. Who do you have left? James Cook.
That's the point. They drafted James Cook.
I like that. I like James Cook, but what are the Bills going to do next year? Draft another running back? Like,
that's what they do.
Really want to? I know, but do we want to keep drafting running backs? I think if you can have a sustainability in the backfield, you should. Whether that is extending Singletary or next year, maybe you look to trade Moss. Maybe that's the territory that the Bills explore next year. Is at the end of the season, Devin Singletary is a player you extend. You roll him and Cook out, and then hey, Zach Moss has trade value from a decent season with the Bills, then you trade Moss. So that's not. I don't want to lose 2 backs and only have a guy in James Cook because we really don't know what James Cook's going to be. I think he's going to be good. And that just kind of goes into the super chat here. Bobby Glean comes over and says, do you think Cook can turn into Alvin Kamara type player? I think he can. I don't think he'll be as good as Alvin Kamara because realistically, Alvin Kamara at his peak of playing is a top 5 back. Alvin Kamara
can bang. First of all, Alvin Kamara is he can go in between the tackles and he can take his lumps. He can take his hits. We have yet to see that from James Cook. So it's early. It's too early. I think it's the safe answer is too early to determine that. We need to see at least a year of touches with James Cook against big boys. You know what I'm saying? Not 3rd string, 4th string guys. I'm talking about big boys. And we will really see what he's made of. That's what we'll see. I think we're going to keep all running backs, first of all. I don't think we're trading Zach Moss at all.
Yeah.
That was just a conversation to kind of put out there because anything is possible in this freaking game. I'll tell you that right now. Anything is possible. But anyway, running back room, I think we are set on the running back room. I think we all agree. Tywan Jones will probably be the guy that stays around for the special teams. And then we have Reggie Gilliam, and then Cook, Singletary, Moss. Blackshear, Duke Johnson, special teams are cut. Either way, they're gone. Now, tight end room. This one seems to be heating up. This one's heating up, and I need this one is it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be because certain questions are coming up, right? But financials are also coming up. Now, before I get into that, Truth to Hearts comes in and says, "Hey, one day I hope the Bills players actually embrace the Mafia theme as far as nicknames. Like Diggs would be Sticky Fingers or Davis 13 Stitches, Allen the Sniper, for example. I mean, maybe that's back in the day, man. They don't do that type of stuff no more, man. They're not about that. I mean, nobody knows, and these guys don't know who Sticky Fingers is. They have no idea, brother. They have no idea. But anyway, Evan does though. Evan, you know who Sticky Fingers is, right?
Yeah, way back in the day.
There you go, man. That's all
late 80s, early 90s. We're good.
That's all you need to know, man. So, speaking of this tight end room, man, how do you guys feel about this tight end room? Number one, all right, because this tight end room might be a little more. Maybe I'm making too much of it. Let me just go right into it. You got Tommy Sweeney, Dawson Knox, Quentin Morris, OJ Howard. All right. So those are your main boys right now. So Knox, obviously, he's number one. Number two, is OJ Howard safe to make this team? I'm going to tell you right off the bat, yes. I did question it at first, and I really started to think about it. And Evan and I talked about it a little bit, but I started to think about it. They brought him in early in free agency. Because they felt that was a solid move. This is going to help this team, and this tight end too. And I have to explain to you guys because we make a stink for the tight end position and who we should keep and who we shouldn't keep and so on and so forth. And online today, I was on Twitter and I saw a tweet coming from my boys, the Rock Pile boys. Right, and they were talking about that tight end position, and they made some really good points. I'm looking for the tweet so I can actually, read it back to you guys, right? And I stand by it. So John Scott comes in. And says, "Hey, I think John Scott is from what is he from? He's a Spec News Buffalo. I've never heard of Spec News, but he's from Spec News 1 Buff. Okay." He goes, here's the reality of the Bills tight end room. Tommy Sweeney and Quentin Morris have made far more plays than OJ Howard. However, Howard's dead cap is $2.6 million, a little higher than that. And I just can't see Brandon Beane eating that. Pause. Especially after saying he needs to restructure any way to clear space. So remember, I don't know if you guys heard that, but in the press conference, Brandon Beane was talking about, I gotta restructure I gotta move some things around and so on and so forth, right? So here comes the Rock Pile report. Shout out to them boys. Them boys are nice. Those are my boys right there. And they made some good points here. In 2021, and before I get that, you're looking at this tight end position. It really doesn't matter who tight end 2 is. Really and truly. It doesn't matter. Do you know who our tight end 2 was last year? Evan? Who was our tight end 2 last year?
Well, at the beginning of the year, it was Tommy Sweeney, but in the back half of the year, it was Dawson Knox and a little here and there, Reggie Gilliam.
I did that. What'd you say?
And a little here and there, Reggie Gilliam. You named me
the fullback. And I did that on purpose. Yeah. I did that on purpose because nobody knew who it was. You want to know who it was? In 21, our tight end 2 were Tommy Doyle. We kind of sprinkled in Tommy Doyle a couple times and Sweeney. In 2020, who was our tight end in 2020? Do you remember?
Dawson Knox.
It was Croft and Lee Smith. All right? We weren't like, we were just like, oh yeah, it's Lee Smith. He's been around the league a long time. He loves Buffalo. Man, nobody gave a damn who the hell tight end 2 was, right? So now we're making a big stink of it. We did not bring in OJ Howard, and I say this because we didn't bring in OJ Howard to have him sit there and just be a bum, and we're gonna cut him. what I'm saying? They brought him in to be a second target, to be able to run block, because we're going to be running the ball a little bit more. And we got a big body frame. If you look at the theme, you got me saying Tommy Doe. Sweeney's a big boy. And so is OJ Howard. It's like 6'6", 6'7". He's a big boy. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let me read this tweet. In 2021, the Bills were the third highest scoring team in the NFL and was number 1 in the red zone in touchdowns. Our tight end 2, 3 were Doyle and Sweeney. In 2020, our tight end 2 and 3 were Croft and Lee Smith. Like him or not, Howard represents the most multifaceted option at tight end 2 we've had in years. He very likely stays, and I completely agree. I can't see a reason that we'd let him go. It doesn't make sense for us to go ahead and go with Tommy Sweeney, and no shade on Tommy Sweeney. But there's certain things that Tommy Sweeney cannot do that OJ Howard can. Pass blocking, run blocking is huge. And that's what OJ Howard is there for. Also, to be an offensive piece. So, furthermore, the team had underwhelming depth at tight end and was still an elite NFL team. That's the thing, man. When we have Josh Allen, it don't matter who your damn tight end 2 is. But it does matter that it's OJ Howard, because he gives you a bigger frame for you to go at. So to me, tight end 2, and I go all to say this, you're going Dawson Knox, you're going with OJ Howard as number 2. Number 3, it has to be Tommy Sweeney. Why? Tommy Sweeney was drafted by the TM team. That's just simple. Is that simple as that. So do you feel any different, or do you like that trio of tight ends? Or do you think we go with 4? Highly doubtful. You go with that?
No, I mean, yeah, I think you're right on the nail there. I think we go with 3. I obviously think, Dawson Knox and OJ Howard are your 2 guys. Again, we brought in OJ Howard to be a difference maker, whether that's in the pass game or the running game as a blocker. He's going to be a dynamic player downfield for the Buffalo Bills. And, Quentin Morris is an interesting player because he has that more, he's got a closer frame to a guy like Dawson Knox. He's a little different than OJ Howard and Tommy Sweeney. But I don't think the Bills want to play it safe anymore at tight end 2, right? Over the past couple of years, they just played it safe.
Absolutely.
Go get your veteran sturdy players like, Tyler Croft, Lee Smith. Tommy Sweeney's a vet now, but he just doesn't have that game-changing ability that a guy like OJ Howard does. So that's where I'm going to stand on it. And OJ Howard looked very good in the limited reps that he had against the Broncos. He looked very good when his number was called. So I think that's a bright spot. That really gave me a little signifying hope for OJ Howard. I think the Bills do keep 3 tight ends, and Sweeney would be my 3rd.
I agree. We're going to know about OJ if he plays deep in this last preseason game. You think that's going to matter if we see him in the 3rd and 4th quarter?
I'm not too sure about that. I think they just might want to give him more reps. This is a guy who is brought in from a Bruce Arians offense that was pass heavy, and he's coming over to a Buffalo offense that looks to be a little more balanced. So, it's going to be interesting to see for sure. I think if he plays more into the 3rd and 4th quarter, could that be alarming to a little bit? Maybe, but I wouldn't go too far into it. I'm pretty sure Brandon Beane mentioned that they basically have most of the roster scrapped. Like they have most of the roster like broken down.
Oh, for sure. There's no question.
So, if they have most of the roster broken down right now, I'm pretty sure OJ Howard is part of that final 53.
I agree. And let's move on to the O-line. Now, the real question about this O-line is this. How many are we keeping? All right. Last year, I believe we kept 8. This year, I think we do the same. Right? We have your swing tackle. You have either tackles go down. You have a guy that can go from left to right, and then you've got your interior lineman. All right. Here's the deal, and you let me know if you agree with this, Ev, or not. So obviously, you have your 5, Deion Dawkins, Roger Saffold, Mitch Morse, Ryan Bates, and for the lack, because he's coming back as the veteran guy, Spencer Brown. I don't know what's going on with Spencer Brown. I don't know if Questenberry is going to be the guy that takes right tackle. We're going to learn way more next game. We'll find out a little bit more. But those are your 5. Spencer Brown makes your 5. Now, here is the remaining. And excuse me, I said 8. I meant to say 9. I apologize because I'm looking at my thing now, and I circled a big 9. Hart makes the squad. Are you happy about that, Evan? Son of a bee.
We've converted the man over.
Right? By default. Calm down. All right. Tommy Doyle, Mance, and Quessenberry. Though that's your line. That's your line right now. Right? Quessenberry, obviously, we brought him in from the Titans. He's going to be going from, I see him playing guard. I see him playing tackle. So that'll be your guy right there. And at the end of the day, Doyle and Mance are your inside. Your obviously Doyle's your tackle and Mance is your backup center. And then obviously when Ike Butker comes back, then obviously he'll be back on the roster. But for the conversation that we're having right now, making the squad, there's your 9. And then when Buddy Ike Butker comes back, you know who has got to go. What's his name?
Mr. Bobby Hart.
There it is. And Mance is injured. But I mean, I didn't see him on the depth. So sometimes y'all be
No, he got carted off of practice, I believe, yesterday.
Okay, that's
I'm not too sure how severe the injury is. You know what? I'm actually looking it up real quick.
I can't see it being serious, but thank you for that. Who mentioned that? Was that
it was the Bills Mafia.
I appreciate that.
Right here.
It's not Bills Mafia Fs. I got you. Appreciate that, bro. But anyways, that's your interior line. All right. I don't think anybody refutes that. Is there anybody that you feel that I think you should put this guy in there, or do you feel good about that?
When I'm looking at the offensive line in general, I got it popped up here. I would like to see a guy in Luke Tanada maybe make the roster. Luke Tanada, was a late round draft pick that I think could be a solid NFL player, but I think he just needs a little more time. He's a little more raw than some of the other guys we've had in recent years.
You feel that Luke Tanada has carved himself a way to make the 53?
No. I would like to see him on the roster, but he's going to be a guy that's going to be probably thrown towards the practice squad. He's just a young player that I feel like could be good one day. But as of right now on this Bills roster, we can't really just house guys that are going to be good one day. So I think Tanada probably gets the boot to the practice squad.
Yo, Bobby's such a fool. Who? And here's the problem. It's just because I can hear him saying it. He's such an idiot. Anyway, but that I like that. Luke Tanada, I mean, those are the guys that you feel like there's a lot of potential in them. You stash them onto the practice squad, and you.
What about like Greg Van Roten?
What about Greg Van Roten? You brought him up. Talk to me about him.
No, I mean, I'm just because I'm going through the depth chart here on my phone. Mm-hmm. I think he. You brought him in here. He started
a single thing about Greg Van Roten.
Me neither. But he started most of the games last year for the Jets. But I don't know.
Well, you know who started for the Jets that we brought onto the team and was absolute buns. Do you remember that?
Trying to remember who.
Can somebody help my young friend out here? We brought him from the Jets, and that's what made what's his face that made him so angry that he left the team and he went to the Bengals. And his name is eluding me right now, but you guys know who I'm talking about. That we brought from the Jets was an absolute bum. He was a turnstile. He was a guard. What's his name? For crying out loud, it's eluding me right now.
Brian Winters. Here it is.
He was an absolute bum. He was buns. Awful. Brian Winters was awful. And we brought him on thinking that, we started a lot of games. He was absolute trash. And then Quentin Spain was like, you know what? Y'all gonna disrespect me? Yo, cut me, release me, do something. I want out of here. And guess what he did? He went to the Bengals and had some good success. And was part of the reason that the run game was solid. And I digress. So I don't want to hear about, he's got a lot of starts and he did that. It don't mean shit. Robbie Hart's got a lot of starts. I don't give a damn. Moving on. You got me sounding freaking angry when I'm not really angry. But anyway, moving on to. So do you feel good about the line room? The O-line?
Yeah, no, I have us keeping 9 too, and my 9 guys are Dawkins, Morris, Brown, Saffold, Bates, Quessenberry, Doyle, Mance, and Mr. MVP, Bobby Hart. And then you got Ike Butker. That will probably knock. Sadly, I hate to say this, but he probably will knock Bobby Hart off the 53-man roster.
Of course he will. He will. Winters had me so mad the whole season. Yo, Winters was so bad. It was awful. When he played against the Chiefs, Chris Jones is a monster, but Chris Jones was just. I can't even get back into that. Evan trying hard to find the brightest diamond in the super rough. I know. Evan's like, let me look for a diamond in the rough. Greg Van Rotten. What about him? Boy, please, what about him? Anyway, let's go to the receiver room. Let's move over to the receiver room because it's clear that we feel that we're going to keep. I mean, do you feel we'll keep 6? I think we're going to keep 6. We have never kept 7. We always, you know what I'm saying? We always talk about, well, we should keep 7. And we don't. We never keep 7. We have 6 receivers, and that's what it is. So here's it is. Stefon Diggs, number 1. 26th rated player on the top 100. Salute to my man Stefon Diggs. He should have been a little higher in my personal opinion. But there he is. Oh my God, this guy said Dukas, Winters, and Hart. My goodness, that trio of names, and we all had him on the same freaking team. Golly, how did Josh Allen remain alive? That's what I want to know.
Hey, don't disrespect Bobby Hart like that, man. Don't throw him in those 3 names.
Here we go. But you had freaking Dukas, and that's my fellow Haitian, but golly, Vladdy, no good. But anyway, let's go to the receiver room. Stefon Diggs, number 1. Gabe Davis, number 2. We already know what's good with that. Number 3, Isaiah McKenzie. He's turned into Buffalo's sweetheart. That's just what it is. He is beloved by everyone, and he knows how to do it. And sometimes you got to do those things to have you stick around the team. Deion Dawkins has learned how to captivate the city of Buffalo, and they love him. Isaiah McKenzie's doing the same damn thing. I don't know how he's able to do it, but he's doing it, and well done. So, Diggs, number 1, Davis, number 2, McKenzie, number 3, Khalil Shakir, number 4. And I feel very confident about that. Very confident. He gives me no other reason not to put him there. And not only that, it looks like he's going to be our punt returner. So salute to him on that job, and I hope he keeps it, and I hope he does extremely well by it. Khalil Shakir, number 4. Number 5, Jamison Crowder. A lot of people want to talk about Jamison Crowder. Well, we got Isaiah McKenzie. We have Khalil Shakir. What do we need a Crowder for? Well, because we paid his ass. We paid him good money. And we brought him in to do several things, but one specific thing was to catch the ball, not only just to catch the ball, but to keep going with the football. That yakety yak, right? We want the yards after the catch. We don't want you just catching the ball and going down. And that's not a bad thing because Cole Beasley was a catch and go down, but he was always aware where the sticks were. The sticks were there. He knew exactly where to get to. Down he goes. Always respected it. That boy always was aware of where the sticks are. It was Cole Beasley and the sticks. So Diggs, Davis, McKenzie, Shakir, Crowder, number 5. And then they'll mess around with it. They'll intertwine these guys on the field. Now, here's the deal. We have a position that 3 guys can fill this role. Unfortunately, one of them is hurt, and that's Marquez Stevenson. So they'll probably likely put him on the IR. Did they? I think they put him on the IR. Did they not? Not yet. They probably didn't.
No, not yet, because I think he still has a chance to
They'll use that as a roster. Oh, well, we cut down in the roster spot, so he'll be on IR. Whether they decide to, try to bring him back next year, or do they feel like it's good enough that who knows what they'll do? Will there be a settlement? I have no idea. They'll probably just put him on IR and shut him down for the year, or maybe not, depending. Right? Maybe designated to return. Where? But anyway, so you got Stevenson. Then you got Isaiah Hodgins, drafted by the Bills. Brandon Beane drafted both him and Davis together in the same class. And then you got Kumro. Now, here's the deal. Stevenson, IR. He's out of the question. Hodgins or Kumro? At the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. And I'm going to give you my take, and you let me know what your take is. All right? Here's the deal. Both these guys are big body guys. They can play inside in the slot position. They've had a pretty strong camp, but the one difference between these 2 gentlemen are 2 things. There's not one difference. There's 2 differences. One, the freaking GM drafted him, number 1. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, he was supposed to be the better prospect over Gabe Davis, the more polished prospect. And if that prospect is starting to come alive and be the guy that they thought he was going to be, minus the injuries, you don't even think about this one. You just do. You say, Kumro, it's been real. Sayonara. However, Kumro presents a very big piece on special teams. So how do you keep Hodgins over Kumro, but Kumro is very valuable on special teams? Well, I think it was McDermott or was it Beane that said, if you are not going to make this roster, or you're not going to be a big piece of this roster, you better well be someone that is going to be useful on special teams. Kumro is that. However, they've been giving Hodgins the same amount of snaps as Kumro. So if they're both getting the same amount of snaps, but one is outshining the other on the offense side of the ball, and you also drafted him, there should be no question about it. Kumro, it's been real, but I'm going to go with the guy that I've been freaking housing and leaving him on his practice squad and developing him, and he's now officially going to get into the position that I want it to be, and that's contributing to this offense. So I'm keeping Hodgins over Kumro. Furthermore, when an owner, there's a sense of pride. There's a sense of I'm going to use the word pride, because when you, what's the best? I'm going to try to use an analogy here. All right, you go golfing, right? You spent 100, I don't know, like, I'm going to say a ridiculous number. You spent like $400 on clubs. Is that a lot on clubs, by the way? I don't know if that's a lot.
I don't even know. I'm still using my Pops clubs.
$700 on clubs. Okay, you spent $700 on clubs. I'm just gonna go outlandish. Maybe I'm underselling it. $700 on clubs, and you're just the clubs just don't feel right to you. It's just like, I don't know. You went to hit one and one bent, and you went to send it to get kind of repaired, and they give you these loaner ones, and these loaner ones are really good. But now they call you back and say, by the way, your clubs are ready. You spent hard-earned money on that. You sent them to get all custom and rebuilt and set up for you. You want your own clubs that you paid money for, not the loaner clubs. I don't want the loaner clubs. They've been great. Thank you for your services, but I want my clubs. By the way, $700 apparently is cheap. So let's ante up. Let's go $3,500 for some clubs.
Oh,
$3,500 for clubs.
Those are some bougie clubs.
I don't know my clubs. Let's go Titleist, right? Titleist clubs. And you get them back. They're like, by the way, sir, your Titleist clubs are ready. Fuck, I put $3,500 into that. Bring them to me. By the way, these loaners were fantastic. They did a really good job. I could drive really well. My short game was nice. But you know what? My clubs are back. I invested in this. I did all the research on it. I want to use my freaking clubs. Guess what? The Bills want to use Hodgins. So they should be able to bring Hodgins right back to the squad and have him on the receiver 6. And now you have a big body receiver that's got beautiful hands. And now he can play special teams. And I think he's going to be able to do that. So to me, Hodgins over Kumro, it should be a no-brainer. But I'm not the GM. So we'll see how that plays out. Evan, how do you see this shaking out?
Yeah, I see this shaking out in the favor of Isaiah Hodgins. You know, first of all, I love Jake Kumro. You know, I love me some Jake Kumro. I think he does a lot of wonders on special teams, but he just doesn't do enough offensively for myself to, you know, throw him as the 6th receiver on this team. Because I want to say in years past, the 6th receiver on this team used to be guys like Andre Roberts that wouldn't see the field offensively, but would only see the field for special teams. And, you know, that kind of was the role of Jake Kumro last year and the year prior. But realistically, what does Jake Kumro do offensively? Like, he's nice. He can do some things. But, like, what does he do offensively? Like, realistically, touchdown Jesus. He's got one touchdown with the Bills. One stinking touchdown. And I
remember it. It was a seam pass.
It was a beautiful throw against Denver by Josh Allen. I get it. Jake Kumro has good hands. He's a solid veteran. He's very good on special teams. But you got a guy in Isaiah Hodgins who is drafted by the Bills, who has been the superior offensive receiver in training camp and preseason compared to Mr. Touchdown Jesus himself, Jake Kumro. Like, Hodgins has been levels ahead of Kumro. And then you got to take towards the special teams fact. You know, Hodgins and Kumro have both been playing special teams. I think I still think Kumro's a better special teams player than Hodgins, but I think Hodgins is there enough. And when you match his offensive skill set and his production compared to Kumro's,
it just makes sense.
I think it blows him out of the water.
I think it just makes complete sense. Somebody said that we kept seven receivers last year. Well, we didn't keep 7. We put 1 on. And when I say 6, I'm talking about 6 active. I don't remember anything. I was keeping 7 receivers active. Initial 53. Like, so my man Robert Bobby comes in and says, "Yo, initial 53, we kept 6 receivers." I'm looking at it now. I don't know where you guys got 7. 7 was always the debate. The debate was 7 receivers. Are we going to keep 7 receivers? And we never keep 7 receivers. We always go 6.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing with 7 receivers.
Go ahead.
James Cook. There's your 7th receiver. That's your 7th. James Cook. Like, you don't need anyone else. There's your 7th receiver, James Cook, and guess what? He's a running back too. He makes, Reggie Gilliam.
Done. We're over. We're done.
There it is.
I like it. And you know what though? But it's a fair point. We don't want to just gloss over and laugh at it. It's true. He becomes your receiver that comes out of the backfield, and there he goes. You know what I'm saying? Now you have a threat that at any point up against a linebacker, he should be able to take care of business. And that's just the facts. This is what it is, right? But great point on that, Evan. So let's flip over. So we're good with that. We're keeping Hodgins over Kumro, and we'll see how that plays out when it comes time.
You know what? I want to say something really quick.
Go ahead.
I think we've agreed on everything.
What's that?
I think we've agreed on everything.
I think we have. I think this is where I think things are going to change now when we go to the defensive side of the ball. What do you think?
Really? You know what? And,
really?
Before we get that, that's the one thing about the Buffalo Bills roster.
Yep.
We are so top heavy and backloaded in the depth that every Bills fan realistically should agree on who we're keeping, because these guys are just locked in. Like, there's no debate on who's the top 5 receivers. There's no debate really on the top 3 running backs.
No,
realistically, there's no debate besides Bobby Hart on the O-line. There's no debate, I hate to agree, because like it just is so like down the line, But what am I gonna do?
He wants us to freaking rattle things up. Well, we're about to rattle shit up right now, because the defensive side of the ball is coming right now. So here we are. Here we are, folks. We're going to the defense side of the ball. Shall we start with the defensive front, or should we start with the defensive backfield? Let's go defensive front. Let's start with the trench. Yeah. I like the trenches. So here it is. The trenches. The trenches. Here we go. So obviously, Von Miller is our guy. You got Greg Rousseau. Then you have Ed Oliver. Then you've got, okay, so here's where I have those 3 as a mainstay. Tim Settle stays. Daquan Jones stays. Boogie Basham stays, right? So we're at 6 linemen. I think we're going to keep 9 linemen. I think we're going to do 9 on the defensive side of the ball, maybe even 10.
That's what I have. I have 9 linemen.
You have 9 linemen, and maybe even 10. They're all depending on how things shake up and who we keep less of, right? So I got Vaughn, Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Tim Settle, Carlos Basham. AJ Epinesa. I think we keep AJ Epinesa. I want him to stay. I feel like they drafted him in the 2nd round. And they just moved on from Cody Ford, and Brandon Beane's like, yo, I ain't losing another 2nd rounder that's going to be a bum. I don't need that on my resume. Make it work, AJ. Make it work, AJ Epinesa. So I'm keeping. Damn, we kept 11 last year? No way. Did we actually keep 11 from the jump, or did we adjust and have it up there? Yo, please give me the true numbers right there, man. Evan, can you double check? I actually had 11 last year?
I think Bobby might be right, because I think he was looking at the last year's depth chart from the initial point. I think Bobby's on with that.
Well, then if that's the case, if we kept 11,
I'm looking that up though.
High. If we kept 11 last year, well then you know what? Here it is, man. AJ Epinesa ends up being 7. Phillips ends up being number 8. Lawson ends up being number 10. Excuse me, number 9. You got me not counting. And then if I'm keeping 2 more guys, believe it or not, I like Eli Anku. I don't know about you guys, but I like Eli Anku to stay on this squad as an interior lineman. And if we do, Mike Love. I like Mike Love on this squad. Now, 11, there's your 11. I can't see us keeping 11. Bobby says we kept 11 last year. I just can't see us keeping 11. And besides, our 11. What's that?
We did keep 11 because
And I'm saying, so
I'll
if
read
we
them
did
off
keep
really
11,
quick.
if we did keep 11, then I like that number. Brandon Bryant has been freaking unreal as well. I can't even hate on that. So I'm writing them all down now. So the real question is, how many do we keep? Are we keeping 11 again? Because our linemen are much better than last year, are we able to, you know what, let's because we had to keep 11 maybe because like, yo, we're not that great, man. F.L. Bada, we don't got F.L. Bada on the squad anymore. You know what I'm saying? So like, we got better guys on the squad. So maybe we keep less. So let's just say we keep 10. Are you keeping, and I have Lawson as 9. Is Lawson worthy enough of a roster spot with this team? Are we liking the re-addition of Shaq Lawson?
Yeah.
Over a AJ Epinesa. And I think AJ Epinesa deserves to be on the squad. But Lawson had a heck of a preseason game last week.
Oh, phenomenal.
I'm like, so are we keeping 9? To me, 9 seems ideal. Keep 9 so you can keep more DBs, especially because Trey White, we don't know what's going on with Trey White. Thank you, Jessica. What's up, girl? I'm gonna go 9. Let's go 9. F it. I'm not doing 11. Let's go 9.
Yeah, no. I have 9 too. And
Let's go
you want me to read off my 9?
Give me your 9, and then we're gonna, because Brew Crew Christian says, yo, we got to keep Bryant. Bryant has been freaking excellent this preseason.
He's been phenomenal.
He's been freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So like, it's gonna be tough. So give me your 9 because I'm gonna reshuffle my 9 since we're keeping 9,
right.
not 11.
I got Von Miller, Ed Oliver, Greg Rousseau, Tim Settle, Boogie Basham, Daquan Jones, and Jordan Phillips. In my opinion, those 7 are like automatic locks. No ifs, ands, or betweens. Those guys are just locks. And then I have Shaq Lawson and AJ Epinesa. Shaq Lawson is my 8th. AJ Epinesa is my 9th. So if they wanted to keep 8 for some reason, I don't know why they would, but if they kept 8, AJ's gone. Because I have Shaq Lawson.
Why would you get rid of AJ before Shaq?
I like what Shaq brings. I think you only can have so much youth on a defensive line when you're trying to push for a Super Bowl. I get it. AJ Epinesa has the potential to be, a big time player. He's got the potential to do some big things in this league. But when you're pushing for a Super Bowl and you have already 2 young guys in Greg Rousseau and Boogie Basham who really haven't even hit their peak yet, you can't have another guy in AJ Epinesa be that type of project young type of player. I'd rather have a proven player who is very good against the run too. But no, I mean, I get it. Like AJ Epinesa and Shaq Lawson, they're right there neck and neck. I'm not, saying like this guy is miles ahead better than another. I think AJ is going to be good this year. I think he might even, push for some starting snaps, here and there. But at the same time, I think 9's a comfortable number. But overall, I mean, after that, you got a guy like Brandon Bryant. I like what Brandon Bryant's done in preseason. I think he's been a valuable defensive tackle. I think he's done some good things in the run game. I think he's done some good things, as a pass rusher, getting to the quarterback. He's just been a good player. And I think he might just be that practice squad guy. Hopefully he stays on the practice squad and someone doesn't poach him. But if someone does, someone does. But I think Brandon Bryant stays in the practice squad. I got the Bills keeping 9.
Do you think they have AJ Epinesa as trade candidate?
No, not as of right now. And it kind of goes to the point of Zach Moss. It's a guy,
but there's way more depth on this team. And we drafted Rousseau and Basham. And we're only going to bring more depth on next year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give up on Epinesa. I don't want to just look at year 3 and give up on him. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there was a reason why people had this guy hyped up. He's a powerful edge rusher, and he can do a lot of scary things, when he's on his game. I mean, we saw the stint that he did against the Dolphins last year in injuring Tua Tagovailoa. Yep. I mean, he's got potential. Now, can he hone that in and do it consistently to a point? I don't know yet.
All right.
But
I like
let's see if he can get to that point.
I'm with you.
So Leighton Bear goes, AJ is this year's Daryl Johnson.
It could happen, man. I could see them moving him. Not because he's terrible, but it's just that we just have too much damn depth. And everybody wants a pass rusher. You got to get after the pass rush. You got to get after the quarterback with a nice pass rush. So maybe that's the route we take. So I think I'm with you. Everything you just said.
We agreed again.
And I hate to do that. I hate to disappoint my man Pierre because he loves violence. And I can't bring the violence right now. I just can't. And I love bringing the violence, but I just can't right now at this moment. I think I'm with you. And we're gonna kind of we're gonna have to refresh this to see if we got our 53 man down. Linebackers. I think I feel good about that D line. I honestly like, and it sucks because Eli Uncle I really like. Mike Love I like a lot. Brandon Bryant I like, and those are all good practice squad guys. But I'd love them to be on the squad and make something happen. But here we are agreeing again. Once again, we agree. Linebacker. Okay, linebacker. Obviously, you got Milano, you got Edmonds, and you got Tyrell Dodson. All right, they signed Tyrell Dodson to a 1-year extension. So here it is. Somebody said, yo, spice it up already. I need to see some beer bottles broken and some stabbing. All right, so here we go. Milano, Edmonds, Dodson. There's your 3. Then, I mean, first of all, we keeping 6 linebackers. I think we kept 6 linebackers last year.
I'll get back on that.
Yep. So Terrell Bernard, we just drafted. So there's your 4. Andre Smith, although he is going to be suspended for what? I think 6 games.
Yep.
They like him, and he had a really good game last game. So I think they like him a lot. Balin Spector. That boy has been playing very well. I think we grabbed him in the 7th round. Balin Spector.
I think it was 6, yeah.
Then we have so what's the deal? So Tyler Matakevich is one of our guys on the squad. So what do you do with Tyler Matakevich?
You got to keep Matakevich.
So then Baylor Spector gone. That's it.
I mean, you know what? It's hard because you have Tyler Matakevich. I mean, it is. I mean, you want to look at the fact of how Balin Spector played his first game. He played phenomenal, right?
Right. Excellent.
Like he played very well. He showed that, hey, maybe one day, if something happened, I could be a starting linebacker in this league. He played with that type of potential. But then you also have to look at, my guy, Tyler Matakevich, one of the best special teamers in the league, one of the best special teamers in the NFL. Yep. You can't get rid of that. You can't get rid of that. He simply has led the Bills in special teams tackles too many times to just get cut. I mean, that's what it is.
He's not getting cut.
So, I mean,
and if they were going to cut him, they would have cut him a long time ago where they could have saved money. They're not going to. So, and I know Andre Smith he's going to get the 6th game. So they're going to put him on the freaking unable to play because he's obviously suspended. So he's got a roster spot that opens up. Milano, Edmonds, Dodson, Smith, Bernard, Matakevich. There's your 6. And then Balin Spector to the practice squad. It's the only way I can look at it right now. But with Andre Smith being suspended, maybe they keep Balin Spector as that extra linebacker. I don't see anybody else making it. I mean, Joe Giles-Harris, he brings the thunder, but do they take the Balin Spector, the young Thundercat? Yo, let Love Chat. Let me see if I can get Love Chat to jump on the mic if they want to come and talk football with us. If not, block a Love Chat for me in the chat, if you will.
I was typing up something and that just popped up. That's my fault. But I was looking up something really quick because I wanted to just double check. If a player is suspended, they do not count against your 53-man roster.
Right. So that's why I took him out and I put Balin Spector in. I think Balin Spector, or it's going to be Joe Giles-Harris.
Wait, you know what? So, this is my thing. You keep Andre Smith around. Who says Andre Smith is, a lock on this team?
Special teams,
like realistically,
ace. Special teams ace, my guy. That's why Andre Smith. They traded for Andre Smith. They didn't just pick him up. They traded for him. They said, "Yo, I'm giving up picks for you. Get your ass over here." So Andre Smith being out, I think it's going to be between Balin Spector and Joe Giles-Harris. So if you were going to pick the rookie or Joe Giles-Harris, who are you going with?
I'm going Spector.
Give me the
Spector
rook.
complains. Yeah, give me the rook, man. Give me the rook. I think that Balin Spector can play inside. That's and Joe Giles-Harris can do a lot of things. He's a great sideline to sideline linebacker. But when I'm looking at this roster, so is Matt Milano. So is Terrell Dodson.
Yep.
So is Terrell Bernard. and so
Harris
is
is
Andre
gone.
Smith.
Bye, Harris.
So
Balin Spectre season.
I mean,
baby.
I love him.
Inspector Balin. That's the way I look at it.
Inspector Balin.
I like it.
Inspector Balin.
That's
That's his new name.
Inspector Balin.
You said Inspector. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I said Inspector Balin. Here we go. So I like that. Six linebackers, and then once Smith comes back, and then Spectre goes right back to the practice squad. Sorry, kid. Gotta go. All right. So let's go to the DB room, baby. Let's go. All right. Here we go. Trey White, obviously, he's making the squad. They're gonna wait till the last hour to decide whether they're gonna activate his ass or put him on the PUP list, and then we'll see you in 4 weeks. To me, the safe thing to do is to see you in 4 weeks. Let these young bucks, get in there and figure themselves out and get their feet wet. And then by the time you come back, they'll have some games under their belt. And if you're not all the way back just yet, they can remain in the game. But I'll tell you right now, man, Trey White, obviously on the squad. Dane Jackson, number 2. Elam, 4. Benford. There's your 3, and then 4, and then you got Lewis. I think they keep Lewis. I think they have a love for Lewis. I think
Cam Lewis has also been playing safety too.
I see that. They're moving him around. What's going on? Like, fam, let's talk.
He can play slot, outside, and safety.
He's
and special teams.
He's valuable. So to me, Lewis is for sure on the scene. Then you got Teron Johnson. There's 6. Now, Jamarcus Ingram, you're out of here.
He's the next cut.
I ain't trying to hear about no Jamarcus, right? Then you got Saron Neal. They consider him a corner. So Saron Neal obviously is there. And Josh Thomas. So there it is. That's a lot of corners, though, man. Golly.
Does Josh Thomas make the roster?
Well, he's making the roster over freaking Ingram. And now keep this in mind. Our safeties, this is where it becomes, Josh Thomas is a safety, but I'm looking at Josh Thomas right now, and I'm looking at the safety room. You got Jaquan Johnson is definitely making the squad.
Oh, for sure. He is a huge special team.
Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Jaquan Johnson, DeMar Hamlin, Nick McLeod. 5 safeties. I think we kept 5 safeties last year.
Here's the thing now. What do you do with a guy like Nick McLeod? Nick McLeod and Cam Lewis are a little similar in my opinion.
I'm keeping Cam.
They both the Cam Lewis can play more spots than Nick McLeod. And I think he's better than Nick McLeod. Nick McLeod, it was a good name in camp last year, but he's had flashes here and there, but I don't think it's worth the roster spot. I think maybe a practice squad spot. I don't think Nick McLeod's a guy who's going to get scooped up. I just don't think he's going to get scooped up by a team. So I think it's, pretty reasonable to say that Cam Lewis would clearly make the roster over a guy like Nick McLeod and be that. I don't want to just say the last guy, but he'd be the kind of the last corner and the last safety, and he'd be a very valuable player.
We kept 5 safeties last year. I think we kept we said Poyer, Hyde, Johnson, Hamlin, and who was it? I don't know if they considered Saron a safety or
so it was a mix of both. So last year they kept Trey White, Levi Wallace, Taron Johnson, Dane Jackson as corners. And then Neal was kind of that 5th corner, 5th safety.
Okay. So there you have it. So right now we're in defensive backfield. We're keeping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not 11. Am I reading that wrong? 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 DBs? No.
I have the Bills keeping 10.
So Hamlin, Johnson, Hyde, Poyer, Teron Johnson, Benford, Elam, Saron Neal, Lewis, Jackson, Trey White. There's your 11.
Well, yes. So Trey White obviously wouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, I'm counting Trey White. I put Trey White in there.
Okay.
But if you're not counting Trey White, then it's 10. So there's your roster. And then obviously Matt Ariza is there. And you're good. So really, there ain't gonna be many people that were saying like, oh, well, we didn't know. The only really big question mark really is Hodgins. Maybe the tight end room could be a little tricky depending on how they feel about OJ Howard. I don't think they're just gonna let that man walk. I just don't think that's the case. So there's really no questions. Really, they got rid of it. They solved one problem by trading away Cody Ford. So that's a problem solved. The running back room is I mean, Blackshear is making noise, but he's just not enough noise that they're gonna unseat both these guys. So they're good. I think that's your roster right there. I don't think anything is changing up, man. If you're up to Pierre, because I think Pierre was talking about potentially he was thinking that. So I'm trying to make something up so people can riot and go after him, but I can't think of anything on the top of my head. But at the end of the day, man, folks, this roster, it's not as complicated as most might think it may be. It's really not. The defensive line, it's a matter of how many we keep. It's how many we keep. If we're keeping 9, then Lawson could end up making it. If they value interior linemen more so than edge rushers, then that's a whole different ballgame. Maybe they keep a guy like Brandon Bryant. Maybe Brandon Bryant made so much noise that it pushed Lawson out, and they keep AJ Epinesa. That's a possibility as well. So it's gonna be really fun to see who makes that squad. So the major really cuts that are gonna happen is Kumro, and then it sounds crazy to even say that's a crazy cut, but Kumro gone. That was the major one that we saw. Potentially, if we're tight on the D line, it's gonna be between Lawson and AJ, and I just can't see them parting ways with AJ because that's a pride thing. I think desperately Brandon Beane's gonna want that to work out. So I mean, shoot, we're gonna keep it that way. You're Rico trying to start a little lie. I tried to, but I couldn't. I wasn't freestyling well enough that I could try to think of something, right? Pierre wants RB1 Devin Singletary traded. I mean, I can't do that. I can't do that to you. Bills Mafia will come for you. But Johnny Blaze says there's always a surprise cut. There is always a surprise cut. But
there is.
I don't think because this team is so stacked and just so well, it's just well constructed, there's not going to be something that stands out and surprises you because we're just so deep. I just can't see a big name being cut.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna kind of agree here with humble Bills fan.
How are you gonna agree?
I'm not for it. Well, I'm not.
You're gonna agree with it, so you're for it.
I'm not for it. But if there was a surprise cut, it would have to be Jamison Crowder.
No, you're gonna have to explain yourself.
I'll explain myself.
Violence that Pierre wanted. Here's the violence. Explain yourself, Evan.
No, the only reason I feel like there could be a surprise cut with a guy, like Jamison Crowder, is because of how much the Bills value Jake Kumro. I believe the Bills very rarely have a high, value on Jake Kumro. And if they don't want to cut ties with Isaiah Hodgins and Jake Kumro, maybe they cut ties with the guy like Jamison Crowder, because when you look at this depth at the slot position, Isaiah McKenzie, Khalil Shakir, James Cook can play in the slot. Isaiah Hodgins can play in the slot. Stephon Diggs can play in the slot. I get it. Jamison Crowder is a guy. He has dominated the Bills so many times, on so many occasions over the past few years, playing with the Jets in the AFC East. There was that run 2 years ago. It was like a 70-yard score that torched us, and then, kind of left something in the back of my mind. So when we signed Crowder, that was the first thing I thought of, was that play. But again, James Crowder, great player. I think he can do wonderful things for the Bills if he, is on the 53-man roster and gets touches in the regular season. But if there was a surprise cut, realistically, I think Jamison Crowder is the guy to get cut because of how much the Bills value Jake Kumro.
Okay. Well, no, they don't value Jake Kumro. Because if they value Jake Kumro as much as you are saying in this case, because you're making a case right now, then we wouldn't be talking about Isaiah Hodgins. It's not about why are you even mentioning Crowder? Crowder is not even they all play the slot. Okay, great. They all play the slot. Cole Beasley played the slot. Isaiah Hodgins played the slot. Do they play the slot the same way? No, they don't. It's like saying we got 4 running backs. They all play running back. Yeah, but we have a speed back. We have a power back. We have an elusive back. You can't just mix them all in and say they play the slot. It doesn't work that way. Crowder is one that not only can he get in and out of his breaks, but he's looking to score. That's the big difference. That is the big difference. That's why we brought him over there. We seeked this man out and brought him to the team. That is the big difference. You can't tell me that we're going to keep Kumro and cut Crowder. It doesn't make any sense to me. And let me play this game. If they did cut they cut Crowder, that would be a blunder on Brandon Beane's part. That'd be a blunder on Brandon Beane's part because you let go of Cole Beasley, one of the better slots in the game. Y'all said, I'm parting ways with you. And you go and bring Crowder in just to cut him again? Nah, fam. And you mean to tell me that Isaiah McKenzie lit it up that much over Crowder that is just that there's just such a gap? I don't think there's a gap. I think they're going to keep both those players because they both do big things and different things. Kumro, sayonara, man. I was actually surprised they kept Kumro last year. Truth be told, if we're going to keep it a buck, you know what I'm saying? So we're trying to keep him this year. I can't see it happening. Now, I didn't really choose violence very hard because I didn't go hard on you. You know what I'm saying? But I just can't, for those that are sitting here talking about Crowder getting cut, I just can't see. I just don't see why. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense.
I'm just gonna
come back for more.
No, I'm coming back. The only thing I'm gonna say is the Bills roster is so deep that if a player did get cut, it just shows you the testament of how deep this roster is, and you got to give credit to Brandon Beane for building up this roster. Again, surprise kill Bobby Hart. Yeah, get that. We're getting that comment out of here. But the overall thing with Jamison Crowder, again, Jamison Crowder does a lot of different things at the slot position. His yak is there, his ability to have the mindset to go for the pylon instead of just probably settling for the easy catch and going down. That was different between a guy like, Cole Beasley compared to, Jamison Crowder. And I get that. I get it. But when you look at this roster as a whole, when you're looking at it, if there was a player to get the knock and get cut, it would be Jamison Crowder. Because when you look at our outside receivers, outside of Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, realistically, who is a proven outside receiver on this team?
Stephon Diggs is the only proven guy.
I know. And Gabe Davis isn't even really proven yet.
Davis is going to have a huge year, but he's not proven yet. And a lot of outsiders that are not Bills fans are like, yo, y'all are gassing this Gabe Davis guy. He had a good game against the freaking Chiefs. But prior to that, he was just all right. A lot of other guys, they don't know what's coming their way. But that's what they were saying. So the only proven guy that's on that squad is Stephon Diggs. But then Crowder, here's what Crowder brings to this team. And I don't think people realize it. Crowder gets you 11 yards a freaking attempt to him. With him, he's giving you a first down every time he catches that ball. That's what he averages for his career. And last year was a kind of down year for him because he was a little hurt. But the years that he was healthy, playing out of the slot, 833 yards, 699 yards, and you're playing with a terrible quarterback with an awful head coach at the time for the freaking Jets. And he still gave you 833, 699. He was averaging almost 11 yards a catch and then 12 yards a catch in 2020, right? The guy had 6 touchdowns apiece, and dude he works. That's what we got him here for. Every time the Bills played the Jets, who gave us issues? Jamison Crowder. Always a freaking issue. So guess what? We were pulling a Bill Belichick. Take the thing that always pisses me off and put him on our team. That's what Belichick does. That's what he does. And now we're taking that from him too right now. Crowder may lose out to Morris. Oh my God, Chewbacca. Sorry. We're done. We're not doing this. We're not doing this today.
Dude, I threw that comment up there just because I knew you were gonna just look at it.
We're not doing this today, Chewbacca. I'm gonna choose violence with your ass. But anyway, we gonna leave it at there. But someone said, but that's why it's a surprise cut. Yeah, but then there's folks, don't make me turn into a meme doing one of these things. But that's why it's a surprise cut. Well, you know what? Josh Allen's gonna get cut. Surprise. You feel me? Come on, people. There's cuts where you're like, nah, it's not gonna happen. But that's surprise. You know what? Surprise. Josh Allen's getting cut. Surprise. No, it's not gonna happen. Sorry, folks. Sorry. Yo, Pierce is stupid ass. Yo, the show started 10 minutes ago. Now we're on violence. It's not getting there. We're not gonna do that. But folks, let me just keep it. Someone said, yo, Rico, you reckless. Well, I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it a buck. Folks, it's been great. I think we figured out, I think we all knew what our 53-man was going to be. But here we are, man. We know what it is. Now it's just put the freaking roster together. Let's get this thing started. Monday night, Thursday night football. We started. My mind's already on Monday night, but Thursday night football we started, and then we bring it back to Monday night football. tailgate party. We're gonna do freaking drinks. We're gonna do Oklahomas all night long, and then we go into the game.
Rico, you're going right to the turf. You're going right to the turf.
Right, yeah, right. Listen, when we did Oklahoma, I was never one that went, booked you like that because I didn't need to. It was one shimmy and I'm gone. See, I did it so quick, you guys didn't even see it on camera. Gone. You feel me? I didn't have to do much. They have to do much, but I look forward to this season. This season is going to be freaking amazing. We are going to have a lot of fun this year. I'm telling you that right now. This stream, you guys already know how much I bring the heat when it comes to post-game shows. I feel very confident in my abilities, and I'm going to bring it to you guys every single Sunday. Every single primetime game is going to be here. Lock yourselves right in to the Rico Report with the Buffalo Fanatics. We appreciate you. Evan, closing remarks, my guy. We talked about the roster. Ooh. We talk about the good things that are going to be happening this year with this team. You're a ranch guy, so you celebrate the ranch.
I'm not a ranch guy.
Okay, I'm just making sure you're awake. Awake. Look at Evan's face just turned. Ranch? How dare you? Speaking of ranch,
dude, you're a ranch guy. You're a ranch guy, Rico.
I was a ranch guy until I was put on the blue cheese, and I said, you know what? Game over, blue cheese. However, I went to get wings at this local spot around my way, and I told you guys, they don't really do blue cheese out here. It's not like something that's like you guys, it's just like they put on the table for you. There it is. We have to request it. Hey, do you have blue cheese? Oh, I think so. Like, it's not thing out here. Anyway, I went and asked for blue cheese because I remember you guys keep telling me blue cheese just isn't the same outside of Buffalo. I don't know what it is that they do in Buffalo that makes this blue cheese legit, but I had to request the blue cheese at this local spot that I'm at. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, not the same. Not the same. It didn't taste the same. It didn't have that Buffalo freaking blue cheese taste. It just didn't. Somebody said, "Where you from?" I'm from Canada, man. You guys see my hat? You see that? You see the maple leaf right there? I'm from Canada. The question is, where in Canada am I from? I mean, a lot of if you guys have been paying attention, you guys already know what it is. But yeah, man, blue cheese is just c'est pas la même chose. C'est pas la même chose. I'll tell you that right now, man. So I guess I got to get my blue cheese in Buffalo. That's it. That's just what it. That's what it's got to be. Buffalo wings with blue cheese. That's just what it is. It's got to be that and that going forward. Ranch guys should be barred. My man Space Oddity says, where in Canada? I'm in Nova Scotia. I just moved out here about a year ago. Actually, a year. What are we? The 23rd. A year ago, 3 days ago, I moved here. I got here August 20th. So, oh yeah, your boy's up here in the Atlantic. So that's how we're doing it. I'm in New England territory, by the way. Everything around here is New England. You go to freaking sports stores. I go to the Lids. I'm looking for a Bills jersey, which they never have, first and foremost. Shame on Lids. And, Bills Mafia's from the Caribbean? Where you from, bro? But anyway, they never have Bills jerseys at Lids. And when I go to the local Lids here, it's all New England. I was like, gross. What is this? Where am I? Well, we're not that far off from Maine, and Massachusetts not that far. I'm like, gross. This is bring me back to Ontario, man. I need to see more Bills people, man. Real talk. But yeah, man, folks, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I really, really do. And you guys know how I feel about this. I hate it when my tech is off. It's gross. It throws me off. Salute to Evan that held it down until I can get my act together. I'm going to give my freaking internet providers a beatdown, a verbal beatdown, and they're gonna run me my money back. I'm telling you that right now. But I appreciate you guys sticking around and making sure that we gave you guys a show. And we will continue to give you the good stuff back Friday because we got the game on Friday. So we will see you guys Friday. It's game time, and then I'm off to Alabama this week. So I'm going to be visiting my sister. So guess what? I can't not go in and give you guys a little something. So I'm going to pack my mic. I'm going to pack my laptop, all that stuff, and then bring it over there. I hope my sister's Wi-Fi is good. Because if it's not, you know what? You guys always blame me for my Canadian Wi-Fi. Your Alabama Wi-Fi better be good. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I'm going to bring.
Do we got any people from Alabama in here?
Yo, where's my people from Alabama? I think she's from like Hoover City. Hoover. She kept on saying, she's like, don't call it Hoover City. We don't call it Hoover City. It's like calling it like Tonawanda. Where are you from? What part of Buffalo are you from?
West Seneca.
It's like calling it West Seneca City. You just don't do that. It's just West Seneca. That's it. So I'm like, my bad. Shit. So yeah, I'll be heading out over there, and we'll go from there. Oh my shit, Bills Mafia's a Trini. What up, Trini boy? I mean, if we spread the love, man, I'm Haitian, so sock passe to my zoes in this bitch. What's happening? So folks, that's it, man. So I will be in Alabama starting next week. So Sue, who's from the Rock City in the business? All right, I see you. So yeah, I'll be out in Alabama. So I'll be checking you guys out. I hope they got good food out there. So I'll be getting I'll be getting my stuff on over there, and then we'll catch up, and we'll be doing our stuff. So this Friday, game time. So we're gonna be doing our thing, and then it's Hoover, Rico. I got you. I was telling my sister it was Hoover City. Yo, I'm going to Hoover City. She's like, oh, please don't do that. Anyway, so Friday game time, and then we're back at it again the following week, and then you got it. Monday is gonna be my boy Z Body Bot, and then Tuesday we're back at it again with me, and then Wednesday with Rev. Thursday's open, and we're back again on Friday with myself. I may not be next Friday because I'll probably be on the traveling side of it, so you may not see me next Friday, but we'll work something out. But yeah, that's it for us. Closing remarks. I cut you off for the closing remark because I said you're a ranch guy and you just lost your shit. So closing remarks from my guy Evan.
My closing remarks is that when the official 53-man roster is out, Mr. Bobby Hart, you'll see his name in big bold, right? All their names are gonna be in black, right? Just standard 12 font black. Then it's gonna be Bobby Hart in 24 font black. Just right there.
Font black, Bobby Hart. All right, cool.
Bobby Hart in 24 font black on the official 53-man depth chart.
I like it.
And everyone's just gonna be like, huh? What? Where? And I'm be like, let's go.
I like it. Yo, a question for you. You have season tickets, right?
Yes, sir.
So when this new season, when the new stadium opens up, do you have the right to keep your season tickets at just any other price, or do you have to rebid for all that crap, or is it just like new stadium?
Did
they tell you guys yet?
I think we I actually probably should talk to my dad about that. But I think, well, speaking of the guy, there he is.
Hey, Scotty boy.
Well, speaking of,
Go ahead and ask Scott.
I mean, yeah, honestly, if you want to type into the chat, that'd be awesome. But I was saying, like, I think we might be set. I think they sent out an email stating, like, you just have to like reclaim them. I know the price is going to go up a little bit, probably a couple $100 or whatever.
Listen to this guy, Scotty. You hear your son? He's saying a little bit, buddy. The price is going to go up. The rent went up. They don't just check your price up for rent just a little bit. They go. It's you out of here. Almost, it's like a form of gentrification, man. The old average Bills fan coming in, they're gonna be like, no, maybe we want the high posh Bills fans to come over there. Boy, that's gonna be gross.
Yeah, well, I will say this though, we got lucky and we claimed our tickets really good, like just straight out the gate. We got them for the 2019 season, and as of right now, they are making go in the 300s before you can even get down in the 100s.
Are you this is gross. Oh my gosh. We are in on the season trips. Okay, that works too. I gotta freaking start to. It's as if I have to start saving now so I can be able to afford to go there, because they already rape Canadians to go out there with the conversion rate. It's disgusting. It's gross, but it is what it is. But anyway, folks, that's it for me. So closing remarks from me. We're gonna have a huge year. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be freaking lit, and this is the place that you want to be, right here. There we go. I'm not used to doing that. You see that? The Rico report, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'll bring my guy, Mr. Evan Harrington. He'll come on with me and chop it up with me. And he held it down today. Salute to you, my G. And that's it for us, man. So, folks, have yourself a freaking great rest of the week. We'll see you back at it again on Friday. It's game time. We're not going to see a lot of the starters play. It's going to be a lot of depth players. The one thing that I will say that I saw somebody said, go ranch. For a team, for Bills Mafia, there are people that don't even know who their fourth string receiver is. They have no idea who their backup, their swing tackle is. No idea who defensive end number 6 is. let alone DB number 4. We are sitting here debating linebacker 6. We're debating receivers 5, receivers 6. We're debating running back 4s and 5s. Dude, we as a team, as a Bills Mafia, as we know our team. You feel me? And we're gonna be watching this game, and I bring this up. We're gonna be watching this game as if we were watching a freaking real regular season game with everybody in it. We know who's who, and we'll be paying freaking attention. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. We will see you back at it again on Friday post game. And drop that microphone if you know what's good for you. Drop that microphone for this guy right next to me. And if you have watched up to this point, do me a favor in the chat. Just type in BF. BF.
How about
all
the BF
day.
hat?
That's all I need you to do. BF all day. That lets me know that you guys are proving it. Let's go. Folks, have yourself a great evening. We'll catch you on the flip side. Salute to you, Evan. Appreciate you. And we'll catch you all on the flip side, folks. And until next time, it's your boy. And I'm gone. Catch you on the flip. Let's go.
Buffalo, it's the Mafia. Josh Allen, Steph Diggs, Shaq Lawson, who's stopping us? Trey Edmonds, Ed Oliver, Jordan Phillips, who blocking us? I don't see nobody stopping us. Number 1, no one on top of us. Mitch Moore snapped to Josh Allen, looking down the field, see no one open, so he scrambled right. He see somebody open, but he off balance, so he gotta be focused. Dawkins with the block, Allen with the shock, 70 yards. Will it be caught? Gabe Davis or Jay Crowder down the field past the whole roster. That Steph Diggs make it so easy. Touchdown, Highmark Field rocking every Sunday. Got a hangover on every Monday. Get your bass kicked, you know we winning. Josh Allen passing, who gon' pass us? With Devin and Cook, you know we great. If you're not a Bills fan, we don't relate. Nah. Buffalo, it's the Mafia. Josh Allen, Steph Diggs, Don